And what is up? Welcome back. It's Friday night. You're here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy ChrisP, and I'm here with my co-host Brian. Brian, what is up, my dude? How we doing this week?
What is up, Chris? I'm doing fantastic. Everybody, it's your boy Brian D coming at you. Yes, Brian D, one half of the Gym Class Majors podcast, one third of the Average
Average
Boys
Boys
podcast.
Podcast. Man, you're
Yeah,
all over the place, man. You're all over
all
the
over the
place.
place, all over the place. But yes, I am doing well. Chris, how are you, man?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Been a good week. We got a really nice cold front coming in, so the weather's a lot nicer. It's not as hot.
Cold front. Listen to
Um,
you. Listen to you,
yeah.
cold front.
We were just talking about that before. Right now, it's like 60 degrees. It's like
That's
63.
cold. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
it's
cold.
cold here. But what are you guys dealing with over there right now, man?
Like 25 degrees with a wind
Oh,
chill factor of like 10 degrees. I'm joking.
ugh.
But it's close to it, man. It's pretty disgusting out here, man.
Are you guys getting any snow or any white weather yet or no?
They were talking about snow soon. I think maybe next week, which I'm not ready for. See, over here it's cool. It's like you get the first snowfall, you think it's pretty, you think it's cool, but then after that you're over it.
You're just
Like,
over it.
yeah, once you start getting those snowstorms where you're getting like 12, 13, 14 inches, you're like, all right, dude.
You guys
Enough.
ever travel to the New York area and go check out like the big Christmas trees and all the snow and
Yes, I think everybody should experience that once in their life. Like the tree lighting, or not even the tree lighting, but just checking out the tree, going to Radio City Music Hall. That's pretty cool. Seeing the Christmas spectacular, the Rockettes, and all that good stuff, or just taking a walk down, Broadway or whatever, and just seeing all the lights and everything. It's pretty cool.
that's awesome, man. Hopefully one of these days, man. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get
You'll get
there, man.
there.
Oh
You'll
yeah,
get
definitely gonna get it. It's been a pretty cool week, man. We had some really, really cool things happen. We
there. Hell
have,
yeah.
of course, we had Resident Evil. We had, of course, Ghostbusters last week. We also had the release of Hawkeye,
Yes.
the Disney Plus. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk some really cool stuff. We also have some news coming out about Spider-Man No Way Home. We
Hmm.
even have some Star Wars news, which is something that I really want to talk about because
Hell yeah.
I love Star Wars. I don't get enough of that stuff. But shout out to people in the comments and people watching. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Welcome back to the podcast. Robert, what's up, my dude? Always in the
Yo.
always sending us messages about the crazy things that are going on. And we had a crazy conversation this past week about stuff. I'll tell you, one of the craziest things I have, man. I have to ask you though, man. So you're not a big fan of The Crow, dude?
Somehow I knew this was gonna make its way onto this
You just
episode.
knew it, right?
I knew it was gonna make it.
So
All right, so this
real
is this is my thing. This is my thing.
well,
All right,
hold
so
on. So we got
okay.
into the Crow conversation because
How
they
did we
released
even
some
get?
photos or some photos
Okay,
of some test shots of Jason Momoa because Jason Momoa is he was on a real big tour trying to revamp the Crow franchise,
hmm,
which of course is a comic book from the 90s. It had a pretty good fan base for a bit. Was made super popular, of course, in the 90s with Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, who played the Crow in one of the films and tragically passed away because of an accident that recently another something like that just happened with Alec Baldwin, right?
correct. Yep.
Yeah, so it was a tragic story. Of course, it fed the idea of the urban legend that Bruce Lee was cursed and all this other stuff, but we know that tragically it was just a horrible stunt accident that went wrong.
Hmm.
Took his life, but yeah, we were talking about it, and you brought up an interesting point, which is something that I correlate to the Selena theory,
Okay.
which down here, Corpus Christi, everybody loves Selena.
Hmm.
But during that time, I don't really remember her as like being like a really big popular Tejano stinger. But then she was shot and killed by like her biggest fan
Yeah. Yeah.
and made national news all over the place. Fucking Jennifer Lopez, dude, literally like remade that
Hmm.
persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and you kind of felt like it was almost the same thing with Brandon Lee's character in The Crow, right?
Hmm. I do. So, um, as long as I can remember, I've been a huge movie buff. I love going to the movies. Going to the movies is one of the things that I do just to relax. So it's a thing that I've been doing since I was a kid.
Mhm.
Um, and I went to the movies to see The Crow,
Nice.
and just like As far as I was aware, just like everybody else, we knew of the movie, but once Brandon Lee passed away on set, it kind of made it a must see. Like, you have to see this movie because it's his last movie. He died on set. How are they going to pull this off? So then I saw it, and I just thought it was okay. I don't. I understand that there is a niche audience that just they live and die by this movie.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I have to ask you, are you a fan of the movie? And if you are, I need you to break down to me what aspect of this movie makes it so great. Was it the acting? Was it the like choreography, the fight sequences? What was it? Because I missed it.
Okay, so growing up, I was a huge fan of it.
Hmm.
Now, I was a huge fan of it more because I thought the correlation of the character to like the soundtrack to the development and some of the cinematography, I thought was really, really cool for the time.
Hmm.
I mean, of course, it was kind of blown out of the water when Blade came out because Blade literally took the same concept and same thing with Spawn, if you think about it too. The whole like dark character, bringing in some type of techno-y gothic metal rap kind of like vibe. So there was a lot of those type of films that were going around at that time. But Brandon Lee, of course, to me he was a big name. So
Hmm.
I was already anticipating a big action movie. Did I get the movie that I thought it was? No. It wasn't, to me, the cinematography. It was just like any other movie that he had made at that time. What was cool is I thought it was good because he got the opportunity to play a superhero.
Mm.
Like, they took actual, like a person that a lot of the martial arts community looked up to at the time, of course, because he's Bruce Lee's son.
Hmm.
And they actually put him in a film where he's like, based on a comic book character. Like, was the comic book character super popular at the time? Not at all. It
Hmm.
was literally like the Shang-Chi or like the Guardians of the Galaxy version of comic books back in the day. Like,
Hmm.
you really had to like know comic books to know who the Crow was at that time.
Yeah.
And of course, you'll have your normies out there that are like, "Oh my god, I read it all the way back then," but most of them are probably like 5 or 6 years old, which I'm thinking they're not going to let them read that shit in
Yeah.
elementary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, it was at the time it was cool. Through the years, I feel like it's aged well.
Okay.
It's a pretty interesting story. I think the part 2, City of Angels, was actually a little bit better,
Hmm.
which I don't know if you got to see like the part 2 or part 3 or part
I
4.
saw part two. I think I saw the next one. I think I was kind of forced to watch it, but
Yeah, the third one and the fourth one are like literally unwatchable, dude. Like, they're
yeah, I bet.
horrible. The second one was, I think the actor did a better job
Hmm.
because of course, like Brandon Lee at the time had only acted like just in martial arts films. So
Hmm.
he was always typecasted to the whole like you're either a detective or you're a sidekick of Dolph Lundgren. Like that's literally all it is.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much everything he got typecasted in. So that was the other thing. But to see him come out in The Crow and have to act
Hmm.
and play a romance scene with his wife at the time and then show the emotional distress, it was very cool to see his character in that limelight.
Okay.
Like there's the scenes of like where he's in like the graveyard, right? And he's like he's like clawing out his wife's grave, or he's fighting one of the dudes that throws knives, and he's, instead of fighting the person like a martial arts cinematography, he's like just slapping the knife and screaming, and he's very emotional, very raw. There's a lot of raw emotion to it, which was very great. And then there's like the whole like the scenes that were kind of corny were like him playing guitar on the rooftops at like 5 in the morning. And like, I would be like, dude, shut up, bro. Like, fucking go to sleep. Like, but there was the interaction between him and the little girl too, where he played like this absentee father.
Yeah.
And there were just really good, like, homely parts to the film. At the time, did it work? No, I don't think so. Because you're expecting a Brandon Lee movie. You're expecting like a martial arts extravaganza. You're expecting
Yeah,
some crazy shit.
that's what I was expecting.
But then when you went in there and you saw it more heartfelt and like it literally just be a straight revenge story,
Hmm.
like I think that's what makes it age well.
Okay.
So if you watch it now and you look at it like a revenge film, like a person literally just going out and getting revenge,
Hmm.
it's not bad.
See, my thing is, I guess I was looking for exactly what you were expecting, and I got Brandon Lee acting, which I'm not a
Acting.
fan of. I'm not a fan of him acting. I don't think he's that good of an actor. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And
I thought the same thing.
and I think Rob, and I'm sorry, Rob, we had this discussion in the chat. He said this is like his number one movie of all time. So I do apologize. I don't want to ruffle any feathers, which I think I might have in the chat, but it is what it is.
No, I don't think it's
But speaking to what Rob just posted, I think that kind of helps my argument. We went to see that movie for everything other than the movie itself.
yeah,
We
correct.
we we went because we knew that he died on set, and how were they going to finish the movie without him actually being there? We wanted to see how that played out. Like we wanted to see his last movie. And then I was going to say this in the chat, but the best thing that the Crow ever did was give me Sting, the wrestler. Like the
Oh yeah.
the the version of
Yeah,
Sting
because he ended up taking the look, right?
that was based off of the Crow. That was the best thing that the Crow ever gave to this, to this world. And I'm just not scared of saying that the movie sucks because the guy died on set. It's a horrible tragedy, but I'm not gonna say the movie is good when it's actually it's a mid-level movie, dude. It's
Yeah.
it's okay at best, and that's why. And I use the word hate, but
Yeah, it's not really hate.
I don't hate the movie. It's
You know
just
what?
I think it's overhyped. I think it's overrated.
For the time, them being able to finish the movie and using the technique that they used to finish it, they did a
That's what
pretty
intrigued
damn
me.
good job.
That's what intrigued me.
Yeah.
That's why I went to the movies to see this movie. I want to
And,
see how they pulled it off.
and I think in a classy way they did a pretty good job of finishing it with giving him at least some type of honorable honorability to him,
Of
not
course.
being able to
Mhm.
finish the film.
Of course.
They used like a stand-in and they did a lot of like zoom away shots and of course they used his stunt double.
Mhm.
And all they did was they like not CG'd, but they like cut and tape like his face in certain shots.
Yeah.
And they did pretty well. They did hella well actually. But like you said, going to the movies to go see this guy act was not per se the best thing. But you see, I was already used to it because I had seen a bunch of movies with him acting in the first place.
Okay.
And it was just like any other typical martial arts movie. Like you're expecting crazy action because the acting isn't going to be it's not going to be there. You're not expecting a lot of drama in it.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see him out of his environment. That's like the first time you saw Corey from Slipknot sing a slow song.
Okay.
Like you're kind of
100%.
like, oh fuck, that's crazy, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was nice. But in actuality, like I said earlier, the Crow Part 2 brought in an actual actor who sold all the acting part,
Mhm.
did it extremely fucking well. But the action was just so fucking weird to just watch him like be an action guy. So yeah, like it's very hard. But now we have this weird amalgamation of we have Jason Momoa
Mhm.
coming in to be the Crow. How do you feel about Jason Momoa trying to be the Crow? Knowing what the story's about, knowing what this guy's supposed to look like. Cause like I'm already freaked out that the dude's gonna be like, dude, if you had a guy walk up on me that was like 6'3",
Yeah.
275 pounds, just fucking jacked to shit, I'll
If you
probably shit
wanted to
myself, dude. Yeah,
yeah,
brother.
if you wanted to get like the total opposite of the Crow that I know, you would put Jason
You would put Jason
Momoa
Momoa,
you would
yeah.
put Jason Momoa in that role. I'm kind of indifferent. I again, I'm not a big fan of the original movie, so if you give me a remake, if it's better, do I think honestly, do I think Jason Momoa is a great actor?
Actor.
I don't know. What he does works for him, so
Yeah,
I
he
don't know.
gets typecasted a lot, man. Like
Yeah,
those guys.
I'll give it a shot, but am I excited for it? Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. I can
It's
take
one
it
of
or
those
leave it.
things like, was it really something that we were asking for?
Yeah, and that kind of happens a lot recently, where we're
Shit, do
getting
you
things that we're not asking for.
do you remember a while back that they were really pushing for the idea to get like fucking 50 Cent, and then they wanted to get all these other weird ass people to be the Crow?
Wait, say that one more time.
Like if dude, if I'm not mistaken, you can look this up. That 50 Cent was pushing to be the Crow at one time.
That would have been
That would have been wild as
beyond.
fuck.
That
That's
would
what
have
I
been
meant.
beyond hilarious.
That would have been crazier than his fucking video game, dude. The fucking blood on the sand or whatever.
I'm just trying to envision 50 Cent walking around with white paint and black paint on his face. That would have been.
Well, you
I
know
don't
what?
know
I
if that
think
would have aged well.
Jeremy posted up something good, which is wait, it got green lighted. I thought it got shelved. From what I remember, it also got shelved. Like I remember it not being a thing, and what they actually released today, it was just a bunch of like photo dump of just Jason Momoa's test footage of
Okay.
him wearing the makeup, just to see what he would look like.
What it looked like, yeah.
Which in the pictures, he doesn't have his beard, which is at the time probably around when he filmed Dune. Right. So that was around the time that he shaved his beard off because he was trying to raise awareness for the water company he was starting. He made like a post, not a poster, but like a post about it where he's like, I'm going to shave my beard. But then he grows it back like in a month, dude. So it don't fucking matter if he shaves his shit. I don't give a fuck. That's not going to make me wear his awareness. He's going to grow his shit back. Be like me, or it takes you a long ass time to grow a beard at least, man.
You know what? I just think it's funny. So, ladies and gentlemen, who's ever listening, if you ever wondered what the Average Boys podcast chat consists of,
It's this.
it's
It's
this.
we talk
It's-
about an unshaved.
it's-
We talk about a fucking freshly shaven Jason Momoa acting weird on a cross in a graveyard, just fucking dressed as a crow for probably some Halloween thing. But yeah,
nice.
it was just test footage, and yeah, it was literally a rant on how the crow sucked. And Brian literally dicking everyone in the comments by saying, well, prove to me it's good. Like, just give me the fucking facts. I was like, dude, that's so harsh, dude. Because there's no answer. There's no fucking answer.
There's
for
no
it.
answer. There's no
Because
answer.
it literally is based on someone saying, oh, I liked it. That's
Yeah,
about
you know
all
what?
you can say.
I'd rather you just say that to me.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just say, you know what? The movie, it is what it is. I just like it. It's just my shit. That's fine. There's plenty of bad movies that I love. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't,
totally.
if somebody asks me why, I'd be like, I don't know. I just fucking like them. I just like it, dude.
That's like
It
me and
correlates with
Starship
me.
Troopers, bro. I don't know if you ever saw Starship Troopers.
But that's a little bit different. That's got like a cult. That's like a cult.
That's my whole
following.
fucking. That's my motherfucker right there. I if I ever drink, I'll quote that whole fucking movie, dude. Drunk off of my mind, dude. Drunk off of my mind.
Is it bad to say that I've only seen it twice? I've only seen that movie twice.
Oh no, dude. Everybody that I've talked to about it will be like, dude, I only saw that movie once and I thought it was weird as fuck.
I liked it, but I've
I
only seen it
fucking
twice.
loved it. You know what I loved about it is that it was a futuristic movie with like a 1950 World War I dialogue, where everybody still talks super weird, proper.
Super weird.
Yeah, just super weird. And I thought that was amazing. But even crazier than that, in the story, the original book, the main character is actually Filipino. And they made him a white dude, which I mean, Casper Van Dien was like that most handsomest dude on the planet, I guess.
Had to get
Like,
him, yeah, right.
Yeah, that dude just looked, I don't even know. He just looked perfect for some reason to me. I was like the chiseled jawline.
Yeah.
Like he just looked like every typical superhero at the time.
Superhero.
Then I was like, all right, I'm about that. Casper Van Dien's cool. But yeah, the story itself, it was pretty cool. I even enjoyed the rest of the sequels to the film.
Okay.
And that's because like I think Starship Troopers 2, they filmed it in a month with like $17,000 as its budget for the film. It was super trash. And then the other ones were just CG, like they were just animated films, and they were actually pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie, they were really, really cool. But then we had an influx of chat. What do we got going on? Of course,
this is what we
Jeremy
do, man.
said,
We get talking. This is what we do.
Yeah, Jeremy said that he believes it was talked about probably around before. Yeah, it was talked before Aquaman. But I think that footage that came out, or the photos came out, were around the time that he had his beard off. The first one as well was here, and I was growing up. Jason with the makeup reminds me of DC's Lobo. Now that's a good call, right? Are we
gonna get Lobo?
Yeah, there you go. Because he came out in Krypton, the show,
Mhm.
Yeah, he came out for a little bit, and Lobo's a pretty interesting character in the DC universe,
Mhm.
which brings us into the concept because I know that you had mentioned some stuff about the DC universe that you wanted to chat about.
Yeah. So what's your friend's name? Your guy that restored the Snyder cut.
Oh, dude, Pete Martinez, man.
Pete
Hashtag
Martinez.
restore the Snyder cut
I hope to God that Pete shows up
because
in
he
about
gotta be
20
listening.
seconds because this is the moment Pete has been waiting for. Every week he asks for it, and it looks like with some rumors and a little bit of speculation, which everyone knows I'm about, we just may get there. It may be that the Snyderverse is not over just yet.
Damn. So
So,
what'd you hear or what?
so I was on the Twitter land, and it seems that Mr. Zack Snyder posted a nice little holiday Thanksgiving picture that showed a real nice close up of his turkey that he was going to be sharing when he sit down with his family and friends, and the detectives had to
Oh
just
yeah.
zoom in on everything that was going on around it, because why would Zack Snyder just be throwing up a picture of a turkey, right? Like normal people do. Everybody in the world was throwing up pictures of their food yesterday,
Mhm.
but there was one person that had the fucking blues clue eye
Please, please.
and found what everyone was hoping that we would find one day. And in the background, I don't know if you guys have a chance, but if you guys, search it, go on Google machine, there is a picture of said turkey. And in the background, there is a book, a very famous book that is DC related called Absolute Final Crisis. And it is blatant. You don't really have to zoom in too hard. It's fucking there. And a lot of people are speculating that this could be, alluding to Zack Snyder having some type of involvement of a project that does bring this book to life. What is your reaction to that, sir?
Well, I think the dude's just a major troll.
Okay.
I'm gonna fucking call him out on that so hard.
I love it. I
Uh,
love it. I love
is
it.
it cool as fuck though? Yes, because he knows how to stir the pot.
Yeah.
So there's of course the idea of the Snyder cut has been, I think, has been shelved pretty hard, right?
Okay.
Because there was such a weird event that had to correlate from all the whole like just the whole situation,
Mhm.
including like what we were talking about on the thing where there's even a possibility that if they continue, they will not bring Ray Fisher back as a cyborg because of all
Correct. There's a
uh,
lot of
the
drama there.
excessive situation that happened in his thing.
Yeah.
Um, so right now it just seems like it's a lot to deal with. So why not just, like we've said before, use the Flash film,
Mhm.
have him go
So
back, do like a reboot, right? Where
mhm.
he uh that's even if Ezra Miller decides to stay on the program, because he's talked about it before where he's kind of like fallen out of being the Flash. During
Okay.
the filming of the Flash film, I think he had stopped. I think he told people he was kind of done with it. And
Mhm.
he started doing a little bit of like modeling and other stuff like that. Like he was kind of correlating with a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
But I think after the success of the release of the Snyder Cut, it kind of reinvigorated his desire to want to come back to the franchise, because I think at the time Ezra Miller didn't realize like how big this character was, which goes to the idea of when I talked to Ray Fisher and John Wesley Shipp and I talked to them, there's a point that I asked them, when did you realize that the character was bigger than you thought it was?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's super important because these characters transcend comic books. And the whole entire Justice League pretty much transcends the comic books. They're gods amongst men. Like we look at them, we know the birthdays of Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. Like we know these things about these fictional characters that they're not even real.
Mhm.
So for Ezra Miller, who believed himself to be able to make the Flash movie, not thinking that the Flash could make him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So of
But
course
this
he, what's up?
I was just gonna say, if I were Ezra Miller, I would think long and hard because look at it. Look at it just really quick. And I'll let you finish your
Yeah.
thoughts on that. But just look at it right now. There's a really weird Batman coming that we don't know how anyone's gonna feel about.
Yeah.
There's no Superman. The last Wonder Woman was ass. Aquaman with all the drama between that and Jason Momoa being all over the place. We may be Jason Momoa the fuck out by the time that movie shows up.
And there's drama
Dude,
around that too.
and there's drama around that too with his co-host, with his co-star.
With his co-star.
Dude, this is the perfect opportunity to take that franchise by the balls and be the main one and reboot the fuck out of it. And this is a great opportunity for him.
But what do you do? Do you take the Ezra Miller character and then bring him back and keep him if he wants to stay and just reboot everybody else? Because I guarantee Zachary Quinto or whatever his name is, the guy that I forgot his last name, the one that plays Shazam wants to come back.
Okay, yeah,
you know I mean? I guarantee Jason Momoa will want to come back.
No, 1000%. If this movie does what I think it's going to do, you give Ezra Miller whatever the fuck he wants. Because I think that this, everyone's waiting for this Batman movie. I don't think that's the one we should be worrying about. It's this Flash movie. This Flash movie is going to usher
100%.
This Flash movie is going to usher the DC moving forward, and that's going to be the big one. But going back to what you were saying about Zack Snyder being a troll, let me ask you a question.
Shoot, brother.
Why would he troll? He actually has done other things that don't concern the DC to where he doesn't necessarily need to troll them. Why not just walk? If he is just trolling, why not just walk away? Just walk away. Leave it alone. It's over.
Because he wants to put the Snyderverse out there.
Okay.
Like, because he believes in his story. Now, I think I've talked about this before on the show where I think the Snyderverse movie was cool. I think it was a cool event, but I think it was a shitty execution.
Okay.
The reason why is because he had a 5-hour movie and had probably told WB, I'm gonna put all this in 3 hours. And then this is what he gave to Whedon when he came to when he quit and they brought in Whedon, or when he left. I'm not gonna say quit. That's wrong of me. I apologize. Yeah. When he left because of the family issue that he had, Joss Whedon stepped in. He had this whole 5-hour movie to cut, and he was like, okay, cool, cut the film. And Whedon was like, what the fuck do I do? Like, this is a whole movie at 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, this is a whole movie. What am I supposed to do? So he had to take the parts that he thought would work, and he realized that there was probably a shitload more Cyborg story, but it's literally deserves to be an origin story for Cyborg. That's the way I would have seen it, because it literally, I mean, I wouldn't know why you would give a 4-hour movie to a Cyborg character and just not make an origin story, unless Snyder did it because WB, the company, did not want to make a Cyborg film, which correlates to WB being a piece of shit company, thinking
which is stupid.
Yeah, which is a stupid fucking thing.
Which is because Cyborg was the best part of that movie, hands down.
I wouldn't say it's like WB being racist, but it's them believing that no one would care to watch a Cyborg movie. Yeah. Which is, again, them being pieces of shit, because
which doesn't even make any sense. So then why have a character who isn't necessarily known to be part of the Justice League? He's part of Teen Titans, right?
Yeah, well, he's part of both. Like, he's literally like one of the most important black characters in the DC universe.
So then if you acknowledge that and you put him side by side with some of the best known superheroes of all time, I would think that you should have the foresight, or somebody there would be like, we need to focus more on this guy.
Well, the thing is Justice League decided, or not Justice League, Warner Brothers decided to say, well, damn, Marvel's already 10 years in the process and they're almost about to make the Avengers ending story. We need to be at that level already. So let's fucking
think they rushed it? You think
they literally brought in the Speed Force And all of this other stuff for
They did,
Barry
yeah.
Allen, they didn't even name the Flash yet.
That's right.
Like, if you think about it, like, they named him in a television
In a
show, and they didn't
television
even
show.
name him in the movie,
Yeah.
and they didn't even give you an introduction to who the Flash was.
I
Like,
think ultimately that was the downfall of the Whedon
yeah,
movie, is that you're introducing, like, if you think about it, that movie was introducing these characters.
yeah,
They weren't established in the DCU.
not at all.
They were being introduced, and you're just throwing them in the mix, and you're rushing through the story, and it turned out like shit, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. For what it's worth, I mean, the Justice League, I mean, casually, you don't really need an explanation on who they are because their characters have been around for so long, right? So when the Flash
True.
showed up, you're kind of like, fuck yeah, the Flash, right? Like, you already kind of know. But that doesn't, I mean, it's like Peter Parker. Like, right now in this universe, we talked about this, where he doesn't technically have an Uncle Ben.
True.
And that's why, when we talked about it the last time, that's why I believe that Spider-Man, Aunt May is going to be his Uncle Ben. Like, that's why I think she may die in this coming story, because he's never gone through that turmoil that the Uncle Ben story. And I think it's a great way. The only other way that I think they can fix that is if Tobey Maguire is the theory that he's the Uncle Ben, and when he sees him, like, that's what his Uncle Ben looked like.
Okay.
And I'd be like, oh fuck, like, that's interesting. You know what I mean? He would be roughly around the same age as Aunt May. Like, him and Tobey Maguire, like, were married or whatever, and that was his Uncle Ben. He looked like that guy.
Yeah.
Then the multiverse makes sense again, right? But yeah, like, the Snyderverse, just, there was something about it that the Whedon part did not correlate. And the reason why I go back to talking about Snyder being a troll is because that's what he planned. He planned to do this whole, like, oh, well, Justice League is going to be a 2-part movie. And then when it all came out and it all failed, and all this stuff went bad, like, he just wanted to release it because he didn't like the cut that was given. And even, like, he never even saw it. His wife saw it and was like, don't even watch it, dude. It's garbage.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't even watch it, and he was just disappointed. So he got the okay to kind of release it, and it made news all over the place. It made numbers, you know, it made the cash that it wanted and all this other stuff. But there's so much turmoil throughout the entire film, with either the cast, with either directors, with either people,
from
like,
beginning to end. It's
it would
just
be
a
so
shit.
horrible
It's
to
a
return
shit
to.
sandwich.
Yeah.
It would, like, the whole situation, no matter how you cut it, no matter how you dice it, there was just no bright spots in the making of this movie. It's like, it's really, really unfortunate, because I think there was something there. I think there still is something there, to be honest with you.
You see, and the only thing that I was really disappointed with was Zack Snyder's future story is the one that I fear would be a total flop.
And I disagree. I think that's where the money is. It's been
Because-
building towards that for years. They had that right there is the payoff.
But you know what I'm
Not
talking
the
about? You know what part I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Not the
Dream
look
sequence.
of not the look of the futuristic world, the Injustice thing, but the
Okay.
Injustice story that he was gonna write, which is the Lois cheats on Superman.
Yes.
I
yes.
was
We
so
talked about
fucking
that.
disappointed with that whole story, because this is what we talk about. Okay, so the big problem, like we talk about with Cowboy Bebop, right, and all this other stuff, is that these people nowadays come in and they're like, well, we have a better story, and we're just going to piggyback or coattail ride on this amazing franchise that the fans made loved and the fans brought up, and we're going to do that, but we're going to change a bunch of shit around on it because we're going to make it ours. And it's like, wait a minute, we don't know your story.
Yep.
We love our old stories. So, like, getting an Injustice story based on the original Injustice story would be amazing. But if the Injustice story now is going to be Batman bangs Lois Lane, and they have a love child, and fucking Superman is kind of like fucked in this weird drama, like, and he has to raise the kid because Batman's dead, or like, it's too much, man. Because first off, if you know the DC universe, you know the relationship that Lois and Clark have, and you respect that, because that's like almost the anchor to the entire story of Superman's hope.
Yeah.
like his love for Lois. Like, so to take Lois's character and be like, well, yeah, she fucked Batman and had a baby though. Like, what? Like, what? Like,
Bruce
why would
Wayne,
you
you
do that?
dirty dog, man.
And
You
then
dirty
Snyder
dog,
be like,
Bruce.
yeah, this is my injustice because it's an injustice that Batman did that.
That did that.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man, don't do this to us, bro. We don't want that right now. We just want
That would be an
a
interesting story.
correlating story that makes sense to the DC universe.
Okay.
That's
I
really
listen, I definitely understand that. But I'm telling you, man, I kind of need that future. I've been teased it for years, man. I want to see Superman unhinged, fucking shit up. The world is in dire straits. Him being in Darkseid's pocket. I want to see it. I want
and
to
you know
see
what?
it.
And that is a part of the DC universe. There are stories that correlate with that.
Mhm.
I mean, we even kind of got a glimpse of that in the Whedonverse and the Snyderverse when he's brought back to life with the Mother Box, and he's kind of like fighting the Justice League and being all types of weird, right?
Mhm.
We get that vibe, and I think it's one of those things that we've talked about before, where seeing the downfall of a hero, see them become weak, see them become broken, and see them go a little dark is interesting
Mhm.
because we want to see them out of their environment that we actually always see them in.
True.
But Snyder just has a really weird way of telling stories that I'm just like, hold on, man, I'm not with that yet. Give it a little bit of time. Let it cook. Let it cook a little bit. Like, you know, build the characters up. Give them what we need to give them a story that we need. Don't rush into this weird like injustice story. Give it the fucking Marvel 10-year gap. You know, give it like, you know, let it cook for a bit.
Do you have faith? Do you have faith in Zack Snyder
as
as
a
as a director?
Yeah, as a director, yes. But if he gets someone else to write, because the guy is not good at writing.
Okay.
Like, he's not a good writer. Every movie that he's ever been amazing at has a story already.
Okay, yeah. That's
So
true.
I mean, look at that fucking weird zombie movie he wrote.
I liked it.
I was okay. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not like, there was a lot of shit that I was just really confused with. I did like the theory that they were in a time loop though. That was some real supernatural shit. And they just made another movie on Netflix, I think.
It's the prequel.
Yeah, what is it? Is it like it's about the safe guy, right?
What's the Army of Thieves?
Army of Thieves.
Army of Thieves or something like that.
Have you got to check it out yet or no?
I have not checked it out. No, not yet. But I will check it out. It's definitely been on the list of things to do.
Yeah. What was cool is I got to go see Resident Evil, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. Cool. But yeah, so the picture that they released, it had a omnibus in the back of obsolete Final Crisis, which is one of the Final Crisis storylines, which is one of the big DC crossovers.
Yeah.
How do we feel if Warner Brothers was to come out, throw the curveball, and say, "Hey, we're going to continue with the Snyderverse"? Like, how do we feel like it's going to work right now? What do we do? Like, what do we do?
Before we even get there, you might as well just turn off social media for at least a week.
Yeah, dude,
because that's going to be the only thing people are going to be talking about.
Which, I mean, it's not bad because DC, literally everything's been Marvel right now, right? We're still talking about it. DC's been kind of quiet, and you know, they kind of need it. You know,
no, they definitely fucking need it. I honestly, I believe in the Snyderverse. I do think there is something there. I just wish everyone, all the parties involved, would just stop with the fuckery, be on the same page, have a goal, make sure you all fucking get there. Because you know what it is? I need an alternative to Marvel. I can see myself being marveled out at some point.
Yeah, of course.
I need something else to watch. And I like, even though I'm a Marvel fan as more than DC now, which was reversed as when I was a kid, I still like my Superman movies. I still like my Batman movies. And I want to see this work. I want to see this work. And I want them to fix whatever issues they have with Ray Fisher. And I want him to continue as
Cyborg. Yeah, that would be cool.
I want to, like, as if you can give me all of that, I'm fine. And if Zack Snyder and the Russo brothers team up,
that would be interesting.
That would be good. But I do put Zack Snyder on this. Now, this may be blasphemy, but I put Zack Snyder on the same level as a Russo brothers, as having a vision and trying to see it through to the best of his
Yeah,
abilities, and
like
actually getting
I get
people
that.
on board and getting people on board with that vision. I
Yeah, I
think in
respect that.
that capacity, he's probably right on par with the Russo brothers. So I want to see him finish it.
I
Let
mean,
the guy
I
finish it.
respect that. I've read a couple of places where the actors are praising Snyder for what he's
Yeah.
done, and I you know what, I don't take that from him. The thing is like I said, like he just has a really weird, interesting way of writing stories, but I do respect the vision he has.
Hmm.
He even in the aspect of them finishing out the Snyder cut, he added Martian Manhunter.
He
So
did.
like, there is a part of this that he does understand
He gets it.
better than Ryan Johnson does with
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah. He
That
gets
that
it.
he does understand the necessity for the fans to get what they want.
Certain things.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, and
Yeah.
that's impressive. That's really impressive. And it's not like this is his first run around. I always tell people he always has a purpose, and it just so happens that when they did the Batman versus Superman and all this other stuff, like he
Hmm.
brought in the idea, and he followed with DC, that they would bring in like those the actor Negan
Hmm.
and Maggie as the
Jeffrey Dean.
parents of Bruce Wayne,
Hmm.
because you knew that if they did a Flashpoint paradox, they were
That's
going to use
Batman.
those. Still, you already have your Thomas Wayne actor, and you
Yeah.
have your Martha Wayne, who's the Joker of that universe.
Hmm.
So literally, when the Flash comes out, what's his name? That is going to be Negan is going to be Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
So he has to be Thomas Wayne if that's that's the man they chose him to be.
Hmm.
So like, and then you have in the movie of the Justice League, the original Snyder one, that even Joss Whedon got. They literally got the dude who was Dr. Manhattan to be the Flash's dad. Like
Okay. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
actor in prison is Dr. Manhattan in The Watchmen. And then if you go back to like what DC's doing, the Watchmen is actually the person. Not the Watchmen. Dr. Manhattan from the
Mhm.
Watchmen is actually the person that created this whole new fucking universe in the DC realm. So he still correlates with using his actors from the Watchmen series. Because Negan was also the comedian. He was a comedian in the Watchmen. He was the fucking. You
Okay.
remember that was Negan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they just used him also.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey D. Morgan, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Billy D. Morgan, who is another actor. But yeah, so he correlates with all it. Like he's very smart when it comes to like connecting a lot of these like little Easter egg lines and stuff like that. So like I don't know, man. Would I be excited if they said Snyderverse was going to be the thing that they were going to go with forward? Yes and no. Yes, being that I would be excited to see where it goes because he's already given us a glimpse of
Hmm.
what we're gonna get. Like he's gonna push it all the way to that futuristic shit,
Hell yeah.
which I can
I want it.
guarantee.
I
Right
want it.
now, it looks like two of those future characters, being Ray Fisher and Amber Harold, are not going to be in that
Amber
future right
Heard.
now.
I totally forgot about that. In that
Yeah, they're
scene,
not in the
two of
story
the
right now.
actors having
Just,
really big problems with the company that they're working. Yeah, I totally forgot
but
about
to
that.
be able to see like Matt Damon, or not Matt Damon, Ben Affleck come back as Batman.
Mm.
But then again, this goes back to what you said earlier. Is like, well, now we have this weird Batman movie that's coming out. What are they going to do with that thing?
Yeah.
And this goes off of the idea that I've always talked about, which is DC's always constantly making these weird ass films alongside of each other.
Mhm.
So like they did like the Joker film, and you have Jared Leto. Now you're gonna have the Justice League Batman, and now you're gonna have Michael Keaton Batman, and the Flash is gonna run it back to those guys, and you're gonna have Robert Pattinson as Batman. Not
Mm.
only that, there's even the rumor and the theory that in the Flash movie, he's gonna run it back and still run into Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah, I think that's all but confirmed.
So like that's fucking confusing.
Yeah.
Even for me who knows the comic books and understands the multiverse, I could only say it's got to be super fucking confusing for people that are not knowledgeable of the multiverse in the comic books.
And we
Because can
we
you
touched,
imagine the normal watcher that's going to
yep,
see like both
that's
films?
what we thought. That's we touched on it. Like me personally, I am so confused, and I think I'm a little bit more than a normie. I'm confused. Are we in the Snyderverse? Are we not in the Snyderverse? What the
Fuck, I
fuck
don't
is
even know.
going
I
on,
don't even
dude?
know anymore.
Nobody can fucking tell me. So it's like, even if you're not a normie, it's kind of hard to not be confused as to what the fuck is going on right now, bro.
So like That's where okay. So this is where I'm a little concerned.
Okay.
Which is we do have the Batman with Robert Patterson coming up, and it's making some noise.
It is.
People are excited every time a trailer drops. People are about it. It's all over the place, all over about it.
Yep.
The Flash movie is still going on, and we know that the Flash is going to do some crazy shit.
Absolutely.
But we know for sure that that's going to be our Flash Prime.
Okay.
And what do I mean by Flash Prime is that since Ezra Miller is the leading Flash in the films, the universe or multiverse will revolve around his Flash.
Correct.
Kind of like the way it is in the Grant Gustin CW show.
Yes.
When we watched the CW show and he invented it, everyone was like, well, you're the Flash, dude. Like, we're going to follow you. Jay Garrett's character, we're going to follow you. Zoom, we're going to follow you. You're the main guy. He's the one that gets all these special powers. He goes faster than everybody. He created the Speed Force and blah, blah, blah. He's the center point to the entire thing. Now that Ezra Miller is a Flash, even though they correlated him into the CW show, the new Flash, the new face of the Flash, the new everything revolves around him will probably be Ezra Miller.
I agree.
So we can 100% guarantee that he's not going to be let go. So that Flash will one day have to correlate with Robert Patterson's Batman.
Most likely.
I mean, that's the way I see it. That's the only way I see it if they're going to go forward with this. Because of course we've had Ben Affleck. Go for it.
Rob said that the Batman is its own thing. It's not connected to the other DC. It's probably just like the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know about that.
Doubt it, dude. And the reason why is because
doubt it.
They originally said that the DC Joker was by itself and it was a one-off thing. And now they've already said that they've already signed a 3-story contract.
Yeah, that's not a one-off.
And they've already talked about how he's going to correlate with Robert Patterson eventually.
Things change when your movie
when money's involved.
Yeah. When your movie makes $1 billion fucking dollars, things change very quickly.
Especially with the fact that they probably didn't even spend that much money in making it because it was more of a drama, you know what I mean? And then it goes off and makes Justice League movie.
Yeah,
it makes Justice League movie.
So, that shocked the fuck out of me. That knowing that this was going to be a movie that has nothing to do with the DCEU, and it was going to be a standalone movie, and it was nothing like any other DCEU movie that was out there, and it made $1 billion, and it's not a Marvel movie. That was wild, yeah.
And the other thing that confuses me is they're still they're still building on the Shazam world.
You know, which I'm excited for. I love that.
I mean, I thought Shazam was great. I mean, it was one of my favorite DC movies.
Hell yeah.
Still is. And so is Wonder Woman Part 1.
Oh yeah.
Right. So those are my 2 favorite DC films through and through. But they're still building on that Shazam story, which is, I'm guessing, they could probably pull it off without it, but it's correlating into the Snyderverse Justice League story because Man of Steel, Superman comes out in it with his costume, even though they don't show his face. Which, if they decide to make it a multiverse, smart move that they didn't show Henry Cavill's face. So, because then they don't have to say
what are they going to do about Superman? Because we know that Supergirl is going to be in the Flash. What are they going to do about the Superman problem?
So I think Henry Cavill will come back as Superman. Okay. I just think it needs to be the right script.
Okay.
That's what I think it is. I just think it needs to be the right script.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I know that his manager is The Rock's ex-wife.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. So the idea
he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's not going to go nowhere. And then the idea of him meeting The Rock one day.
Danny Garcia, I think that's her name. Something Garcia. That's The Rock's ex-wife, who is representing them both actually as their managers. And if The Rock wants Henry Cavill as Superman, guess what? Henry Cavill will come back as Superman.
Oh, dude, definitely. And I think him to be able to work with The Rock, I think he would do it.
Yeah.
Just to have a bunch of built dudes on the scene. Then Jason Momoa walks in and yeah, it's just a trifecta of just built dudes, man.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's just, you know, yeah, I think Henry Cavill will definitely come back. But you know what? I hear that he is not at all denying the fact that there's a possibility he may be Braddock in Captain Britain in Marvel. So I think the dude just wants to act. Like he can
double duty. I wouldn't mind it. he can double duty. He can be Superman and he
Well,
can
that's
do
the thing. He
both.
said he would. He's like, dude, I'll do both. Like, I don't
Yeah.
really. I'm not gonna
I
say
don't.
no to either of them.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I know some people would have a problem with that, but I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I would. I think he's a great actor. I think it'd be cool. I mean, it would be a little awkward to see him play multiple superheroes,
Yeah.
but that would be the fact that I actually know the character.
Hmm.
So for me, it would be weird. But there's a lot of people who don't. Like probably a lot of people that don't read fucking Captain Britain comics.
Hmm.
So it wouldn't really be a bother to anybody to see him come out in both.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be confusing either because they're different fucking costumes.
I think
But
even if I did, which I do fall in that category, which I don't, I've never read a Captain Britain, but comic. But I will say that this version of Superman is my favorite.
yeah, he's
So
amazing, dude.
just off of that fact alone, I wouldn't mind as long as I get him as Superman. I'm fine. You can put him wherever the fuck else you want to put him in. As long as he's Superman, I'm fine.
Yeah, because he's a person who actually loves the character. Like, and you know he knows the character too. And
Yeah.
he's a giant nerd, man. He probably reads the comic books even before he was the character himself. So
And I love Christopher Reeves as Superman, and
definitely.
then Henry Cavill probably superseded that as far as I'm concerned.
Did you ever see the cool Easter egg in the first Man of Steel film?
Which one?
So when he is taking down the machine that's supposed to preform the world or whatever.
Okay.
So he's under it and he's picking it up or some shit, or he's destroying it.
Yeah.
The light or the power is hitting him in the face, and it for like a split second it turns into Christopher Reeve's face.
No shit. I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
see
an
it.
Easter egg, and they put it in there. So if they cast Henry Cavill as Wolverine, it would be interesting. Yeah, because you'd have
At some
a
point, we're
fucking
gonna have that discussion.
275-pound built ass fucking Wolverine.
At some point,
He's ginormous.
He's too tall though. He's too fucking tall to be fucking
See,
Wolverine.
and that's the crazy thing. Hugh Jackman was like 6 foot also.
Okay.
So he was tall, and that's because Wolverine originally in the comic books was like 5'3". The guy was
He's
a
like
midget.
5'2". Yeah, he's like
Yeah,
5'2".
he was a super tiny guy, dude. But he was like 375 pounds of just pure girth, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then again, he was just full of metal. So yeah, he's a heavy little
He's a
motherfucker.
problem.
Yeah, he's a heavy little motherfucker.
He's a problem.
So seeing Henry Cavill, I think it'd be a really waste for Henry Cavill. Seeing him as a Captain Britain's pretty cool because Captain Britain's got that like superhero athletic build that you're expecting.
He's fit for that. Yeah,
he's like a Captain America.
Still,
like he's kind of like stoic and
he's
very
Superman, dude.
yeah.
Like, he's
So you
fucking
kind of
Superman.
want him in a role that fits that dimension also.
Yeah.
That would be like if you put him as fucking Hyperion or something, which would be weird as fuck. You just bring him in. I really think that the Superman character we're going to end up getting in the Marvel universe is Blue Marvel.
Okay.
Which is, yeah, I think that would be amazing, dude. Amazing. But yeah, so do you think right now with the way the DC universe is going, we have, of course, Aquaman 2 being worked on. We have The Flash coming out. We have Robert Pattinson's Batman. We have part 2 and 3 of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker being talked about. We have the return or the coming of Black Adam. We have Shazam part 2 being worked on. Probably another Wonder Woman in the works, which I haven't heard about. But what's going on? What's going on, man? Sir John, that's a cool name. Do you feel like the Snyderverse is something that's needed right now in the universe, in the DC world? Do you feel like the return of the Snyder is something that we need?
Do we need it? No. Do I want it? Yes.
What do you think right now that the DC universe would need right now to be successful and be on the right path?
Time. They need time to develop wherever the fuck they're going. They woke up one day and realized that they were 10 years behind Marvel and freaked the fuck out. So if they just had more time to develop and not panic and not worry about trying to catch up to Marvel, because that's impossible at this point. Marvel is a train that left the station a long time ago. You're not catching them. You're not catching them. So just take your time. What they did to Wonder Woman 2,
that was a catastrophe, dude.
that was a shit
That was
show.
horrible, man.
That
I know what you mean.
Take your time, bro. Take your time, get the right people. Don't fuck that up. You were on such a high horse. You were on such a good role with Wonder Woman coming off the first movie, and then the way that she was portrayed in Justice League. Now, who wants to see another Wonder Woman? Like, are you excited about another Wonder Woman now? I know I'm not. I'm not excited at all. So I don't know, man. I just think you asked me what they need. They need fucking time. That's what they need.
For me, I think that right now what they need to be doing is focusing on one storyline, one coherent storyline. They need to build on that, and they need to prove to people that they can get one story done, one complete story done. What they bring everybody together at the end, kind of like what Marvel did in the first phase, right? And then the second phase into the 10 years. They need to get it to where it's just a strict storyline. Right now, to me, it doesn't feel like the main storyline is the one. If Robert Pattinson's storyline builds into the Joaquin Phoenix Joker and it makes sense, then that's the one that they need to build on. You know what I mean? They can just keep doing that and then make these weird fucking Snyderverse / Whedonverse amalgamations all their lives and just keep fucking confusing everybody. But if they keep that serious storyline going on and it work, then fine, fucking stick with that. Because then people will they'll consider that the main universe. So yeah. Yeah, that's about it. The DC universe, there's really not much other than just weird Snyderverse rumors and stuff like that. It's been very quiet, even with the concept of the Batman movie. True. So, and that's because that's the one that's probably the closest of coming out. Man, I even went today. We went to go see Resident Evil, and there was a badass Batman poster there, and I was like, man, it looks exciting. Can't wait for that. All righty. So what do we got coming up next?
That you mentioned, you did mention Star Wars a little bit ago.
Yes, I did.
If you want to touch on that for a little bit, there's a few things going on with Star Wars.
Look that up real quick. We have Ahsoka Tano Disney show has just got Sabine Wren. So Sabine, and spell her name, Sabine, and that's Natasha Liu.
Okay.
Bordizzo will be Sabine Wren in the Ahsoka Tano show.
Okay.
So what we got going on is it looks like we're going to get a Rebels reunion in the Ahsoka Tano show. So that was my biggest concern, is that we know that Ahsoka Tano in the Mandalorian show, when she made her surprise entrance, which was by far one of the coolest things I had seen in a long fucking time, and being Rosario Dawson was awesome too. But, you know, coming in and her fighting that lady who wasn't she like
I can't remember
her name, but wasn't that like Bruce Lee's daughter or some shit like that?
Oh shit, that would be fucking crazy if there was.
That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Yeah, like I forgot she had something to do with Bruce Lee or something like that. I can't remember, but she was like a big actress at the time, big stunt actress. If I'm not mistaken, she mentions to the dude that she's looking for Thrawn, right? And Thrawn was a huge, of course, in the Legend stories, he's very huge in Star Wars, but he ends up playing a huge role in the Rebels cartoon.
Yeah.
And then there's a huge cliffhanger at the ending where him and Ezra, they end up using these space whales that are strong to the Force, and Ezra shoots himself into like the galaxy or whatever, and never to be seen again. And then of course the ending is like several years later. Sabine Wren is a little bit older, and they're looking at one of the ports that she's taking care of, and Master Ahsoka Tano shows up in her white or gray outfit.
Yep.
And they go on the journey to go search for Ezra, which is a great ending to the story. It was a nice nod. It was a beautiful ending to the series, really beautiful. Only to see Ahsoka Tano come out at the end and in the Mandalorian and ask where Thrawn is, and it's kind of like, holy shit, are we gonna get a coming around full circle of them finding Ezra? Because that was the biggest thing, and I even talked about this before, which was we had our Mandalorian finals episode, and right before it, we had the theories on who we thought was going to show up. And I 100% was not excited for Luke. I was more excited for the idea that it was going to be.
Guy, man. He's the only person.
I'm like super negative about it. And shit.
Person on the planet. I was not looking forward to Luke Skywalker.
Like if I really thought it was going to be Ezra or Mace Windu. Like that's just what it was, and the reason why is because I would have thought, in my opinion, that those two characters would have been better for the storytelling aspect. It would have been mind blowing. It was like a missed opportunity for them not to take that advantage of those two characters. But Luke was cool. I mean, Luke was good. I mean,
the whole world went fucking it went ape shit crazy, and you're like, it was cool.
But it's just one of those things that the reason why is because the new Star Wars trilogy gave us the idea of what happens to Luke and what happens to the Academy.
Yeah,
and I think it still makes for good storytelling, but we don't want to have the idea that something bad happened to Grogu, like to where he was murdered or killed, because the only people that survived in that story apparently were the Knights of Ren's characters, and the other Jedi that had joined Kylo Ren. I did see Resident Evil, and we're gonna give you our reaction towards the ending of the show, or my reaction, because Brian hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen it,
but I do have. But the reaction is going to be cool. It's not probably something that you expect it to be. But going back to the Star Wars, right? We didn't want something bad to happen to Grogu, so the next biggest thing was like, okay, cool. Like we knew what Luke was doing in that time. What we don't know is we don't know if Mace Windu survived, which big fucking ups to the people that believe the theory that Mace Windu survived, and he's like the fucking
I pray to God.
The Shaolin Temple King somewhere, and you're just fucking killing it, man. And of course, like we talked about it, like it would be an awesome storyline for them to utilize Mace Windu again in some way, for being that he was that type of Jedi, used one of the most dangerous and aggressive fighting styles in the world, was like the biggest badass of the time, to be thrown out of a window and be chopped up. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck would have wanted to see someone go out like that?
Yeah.
And then the other one, of course, was Ezra, where Ezra was this young Padawan who barely got into the Force, was told like he wasn't going to be any good, and he was too old, and just the basic story. But for him to be able to have the power to travel through time and space in the Star Wars universe, and him be the reason why Ahsoka Tano lived in the Rebels cartoon. Those are some huge implications for his character.
Absolutely.
So you kind of want to see, like, dude, this guy just can't be all like, all right, cool, like he just took off. If they're mentioning Thrawn, they have to bring Ezra back. That's just my opinion. So it looks like, and this is just rumored, that we're going to be getting in the Ahsoka Tano show, we're going to be getting a huge Rebels reunion. But the other thing too that I saw too is it looks like Gina Carano, that she'll be kind of casually coming back.
At the last, what was that? Was it the last DC? Not the DC, but the last Disney Plus
Disney
investors. No, it was a Disney Plus investors meeting thing that they have. And they did announce that they were going to be doing the Rangers of the New Republic show that's going to have Gina Carano's character from The Mandalorian. She's going to be the main character. So essentially, she's getting her own spin-off show. That came out, like a year and a half ago when they had that Investors Day meeting announcement. Well, now, Chris, it seems as though Kathleen Kennedy, the head honcho over there at Star Wars, is saying that they are going to shelf officially.
They're going to
shelf that show. God knows why. I guess we can all have our assumptions or guesses why, but that's a big deal. I know a lot of people were looking forward to that, because Gina Carano's character on The Mandalorian is a favorite for a lot of people. So much so that they were going to give her own show, and for I guess a couple of reasons, they're deciding to shelf it or just altogether scrap it. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
It's very weird, right? Because they didn't mind cutting her like the moment that it all went down. They were just like, "Yep, she's done. Blah blah blah. Not going to deal with her anymore." Only to see that a lot of people had her back, and a
Absolutely.
lot of people were kind of like taking into consideration, well, if she cannot speak her mind politically, and it doesn't really hurt anybody, but it's just hurting people's feelings, why is it allowed for other actors of the franchise to be able to do the same thing and then not be punished because they don't have the same views? It's understandable that what she might have said might have been the dumbest shit someone's ever said in their life. Same thing with anybody else, but it's just words. It
Yeah.
doesn't correlate to the idea of can she act or is she an actor or whatnot. It shouldn't really hinder her from working. So, but then again, it's one of those things that when you represent a franchise, you have to know that when you represent a company, you represent all of these people at once. So you have to be a little bit more aware. This is why people have PR teams. So, do I think they buckled because they said they would work with her again? Yes. But I think they're going to try to find a way. Kathleen Kennedy is one of those people that she does not look like she's easy to work with. And I think she will end up finding a way to write out Gina Carano's character in the sense of like getting her killed in the show. So that way they don't have to work with her and they give her a definitive end to the character. So they're going to find a way to not need to pay her. You know what I mean? So with the idea of her getting her own side story, I think they just kind of were like, well, you know what? We're not going to give her that because she doesn't deserve it because she did X, Y, and Z. So we're going to shelve it and we'll build another character, which I believe that they were trying to bring in Lucy Lawless, which is the chick that played Xena.
I think I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. They were trying to bring in Xena, the warrior princess, to play the character. But then when they were going to bring in to be Cara Dune, but then a lot of people, since they complained about it and they thought it was a dick move, they brought back Gina Carano to play back Cara Dune. They're going to bring her in, Lucy Lawless. And my guess is that they're going to build her character and then give her that show.
Give her that show.
Yeah, because that would probably be the next best thing that they could do. So, like, that's what I think. I think it's just going to be like a petty move that they're gonna bring Gina Carano back to kill her off.
Gotcha.
So, do I think it's right? I don't know. I'm not about all that shit. I think all the politics stuff, it needs to just stay out of the entertainment world. I know that they all have a platform.
In Disney's defense, I mean, your star is the one that brought it into the conversation.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's all those people. I mean,
you kind of put Disney in a really fucked up situation. Listen, you are an employee of Disney. Do you think that the commentators on a basketball show on ESPN could just go off the rails and say whatever the fuck they want to say? No, dude, this is Disney. This is Disney, dude. You got to watch what you say because they're not playing. This is a family. This is a stock shared company, dude. Like you got to be careful what you say, or they will get rid of you. They don't give a fuck. This is Disney. Anyone will give their left arm to work for Disney. So you got to be careful what you say, man. And if they're not the ones bringing the drama to you, don't bring the drama to them because you will lose. You had own spinoff show. You are a retired UFC fighter that gets spot movie show or get spot roles in the Expendables and
she got casted, just typecasted as like a tough person.
Basically typecasted.
Yeah.
You landed a deal where you essentially had a spin-off show from one of the hottest shows on Disney
on the planet,
and you fucked it up. So Jesus, man, that be an example, man. Like let it be an example. Like you just got to be careful. Got to be careful.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing, but they're not doing the same thing to James Gunn, and he said some really weird shit.
It's a little bit different, I think.
I mean, they had to have known that was all over his Facebook and his Twitter and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
like they had to have known because they're not just going to hire anybody.
That's a good point. But James Gunn does have the chops. He's got the directing chops. He makes money.
Well, yeah. I mean, so that's what makes it move, I guess.
Yeah, it's the money, dude. He makes fucking money for him. So
yeah,
you go take a timeout. You go take a timeout. We'll bring you back. But Gina, you might have to sit this one out for good, man.
Yeah, like it's just one of those things. Like, I just think if that's if that's the new statute of limitation, it needs to be across the board. That's just my opinion. Why? Because it's
No, I
not
agree
fair.
with you.
You know what I
I
mean? It's just not fair for
totally agree with
everybody.
you. But
So
once you start bringing in the amounts of money that we're talking about, everyone's not gonna be the same. It's just not how that's not how life works. If
yeah,
somebody's bringing in $1 billion over here, you're gonna give them a lot more leniency, a lot more leeway than Gina Carano, and the potential to be successful. That show could bomb. You know what I'm saying? So like, they're not gonna get the same treatment.
no, definitely
Although
not.
they should, although they
Yeah,
should,
they should.
I do agree with you. I do agree with you with that. But that's just not the way this shit's gonna work, man.
Yeah, I think through and through that's the way they're gonna do it. They're gonna just write her out. Even when she comes back to the show, they're just gonna write her in for maybe like one or two, and
Which
then
is weird.
maybe
Why even
even.
bring her back then? You don't even need to bring her back.
I mean, but they're doing it just because they don't look like the bad guy.
But you
Because it's
do
either
to
that
some
or you're
people.
just fired.
Yeah, but like you already do look bad in some people's eyes. So why compound that by bringing her back, killing her off? That's gonna piss off a lot more people.
Well, I mean, it's better than just having her fired and just tell them off screen that she died or something. You know
I
what I mean?
guess.
Like
Yeah.
you just give her like a definitive end in the story, and even with the opportunity for her to come back to the show, that's already big stakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's Disney kind of folding, and that's because if I'm not mistaken, she had done a Bear Grylls show, and Bear Grylls was like, since he's a part of like, what's that show? The Travel Channel or like something like that, Discovery. Well, they're
Okay.
also Disney owned. So he was out there vouching for Gina Carano to come back to the Mandalorian show
Hmm.
because they had just done a show together on the Bear Grylls show. And
Okay.
Bear Grylls, like, being out in the survival essence, had the opportunity to sit down and talk to her about some shit. And he's like, you know what? She's actually a really good person. Like, I
I'm
think it's
sure
kind
she
of like,
is.
yeah. Like, I mean, you don't, it's one of those things. Like, you can't correlate someone's entire existence based on a couple of words that they said in the heat of passion or whatever. Right.
John Favreau backed her up. What's the Pascal?
Yeah.
They all backed her up. Like they all want her there. I don't think
And
Disney
that's
is
why that's the reason why I think like someone like the Kathleen Kennedy's kind of like folding, and then we'll write her out because they at least want her to like at least give her character like a proper send off.
yeah.
Don't just kill him off, which I get it, but like we were talking about earlier, Ahsoka Tano is probably going to be this really nice reunion of getting all these characters together from the Rebels. So if you are a Rebels fan, Ahsoka Tano is going to be the place to be. That's all I know. All I know is Ahsoka Tano, the TV show, is going to be the place to be. Not
Absolutely.
even to mention that the book of Boba comes
Book
out
of Boba is coming
next month.
soon. Yeah, it's coming. It's gonna be right after Hawkeye. Like as soon as Hawkeye is over, we're getting the Book of Boba Fett,
That's
which is
like
fucking
December
awesome.
20 something, right?
Yeah, December is gonna be lit. You're gonna get the Book of Boba Fett. You're getting Spider-Man. You're still gonna. This is gonna be fucking lit.
You know what? What's really, really crazy is you had something to talk about when it came to Spider-Man, right?
Yeah,
And this is a really good setup because we're talking about December, and December is going to be wild, man.
yeah.
So,
It's gonna be lit. So when it comes to Spider-Man, you're talking about like the whole leaks thing, right? You're talking about the
mhm,
leaks and reviews and all that stuff. So interesting enough, again, in our chat, which Rob is a part of, we
mm,
do get into a bunch of spoilers and leaks that we just come in contact with on our everyday travels or whatever, and
yeah, just things that we hear of.
just things that we hear of. And I did hear of a leak or a leak slash spoiler for one of the post credit scenes for Spider-Man No Way Home, which has some serious implications on the future of certain characters. Let's just put it like that. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody else. Um, and it led to a conversation that I think is very interesting. And if anyone that's in the comments, if you guys are listening, you guys could chime in on your thoughts about this. But just the overall nature of spoilers and reviews and things of that nature in the climate that we're living in. I think that being that Marvel and DCU, they're always trying to outdo themselves from one movie to the next, from one arc to the next.
Yeah.
So things are bigger, things are grander. There's more Easter eggs. There's more things that people try to put together, include what's gonna happen. It's getting to the point where we can no longer avoid spoilers on a daily basis.
Yeah, no kidding.
We can't. There's just no way of, unless you just stay off of social media. There's just no way to avoid spoilers. So I personally like accept it. I take it with a grain of salt, just like with reviews we talked about in the chat. The reviews that come out about either Hawkeye or Cowboy Bebop or anything of that nature, you got to be careful in this day and age, because there's so many moving parts that, you know, when we were kids we weren't exposed to, but now that we're a little bit older, we're seeing that there's a lot of people that are giving these bogus fucking reviews for shows and movies that are just fucking trash, but they got to play nice, because if not, then they won't get the month early screeners, or they won't be invited to the red carpet, or they, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. I just think it's all correlated into one big conversation as to, in this day and age, you have to adapt to what you're consuming on a daily basis with these movies and these shows. I personally, I don't care if anything is spoiled for me. I don't care if someone is giving negative reviews on something, because that doesn't make up my mind. It doesn't explain how it's gonna relate to me, and I don't know, dude. What are your thoughts on the critics ruining the movie experience and stuff?
So I correlate the idea of people ruining films like that to the idea that YouTube gave everybody this false vibe of thinking that their opinions matter.
Okay.
Back in the day, it used to be like, what was it? Ebert, Siskel and Ebert. I don't know if you remember those two guys.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Now,
yes.
those two gentlemen went to college for the study of cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And when they review films, they reviewed it on the aspect that they were college graduates. You look at Red Letter Media, same thing. Those guys went to college. They're cinematic guys. They're college-based dudes. They know how like SAG is supposed to film stuff.
Yeah.
But nowadays we get all of these weird fucking random dudes on the internet, kind of like us. I'm not even gonna fucking lie. But then again, that's why we're called the average boys, because we're not claiming to be some fucking, you know, that our word is fucking golden. Don't ever take our opinions for fucking gold, guys. Just take it as an option. We're just friends and we care about you guys and we want you to just have fun.
Yeah, of course.
When I talk shit about something, it's because I want to talk shit about him. What the fuck is this guy doing? Okay, let me get this out of here. How do I fucking delete this dude? He's being a weirdo.
What is that?
Oh, I can't even fucking delete this guy.
It's tits with a dick.
Yeah, he's just fucking
Holy
doing
shit.
Yeah. Well, I can't. It won't let me do it, but yeah, like it's one of those things. Like it's super fucking important when it comes to this. I just might end up removing that, like my Twitch. This is really horrible, but no, it's cool. It's in the comments. I can't really change it. Going back to what were we talking about? What was it? The critics, right?
Critics, yeah.
These guys, it gives them a false sense of idea that they can come in and do whatever the fuck they want. Like they can talk shit about it, and they think that their opinions matter in that sense. This goes off of the idea of them using a political bias or a nature of them saying like the Cowboy Bebop thing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are already shitting on the idea because Faye Valentine's costume didn't look exactly the way it was in the anime itself. Of course, Faye Valentine's characters did exactly what a lot of other anime characters did at the time, is they over-sexualized females.
Yeah.
So the costume was made to show a lot of chest, was made with tiny little shorts. And to get that kind of thing from a female character right now in society, you know, I really doubt you're going to get that unless the person wants to get a lot of heat from people that are not respecting women in the right way.
Yeah.
But does that make the story suck? Does
No,
that mean the film is going to be bad?
no.
You know, the reason why for me Cowboy Bebop was bad is because when the director came out and said that he was going to make it, it wasn't in regards to we're going to do our best to give respect and honor to the original movie for its masterpiece. The guy literally was claiming it was going to be better, if not just as good, and it's going to be like the show through and through, like 100%.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. The guy changed a bunch of shit. And so when we looked at the film of Cowboy Bebop, you know, a lot of people are already dissecting it, saying it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the people that came in with the early reviews were already bashing it because they already had a hate for it. So in the Rotten Tomato scores, you have a huge amount of people that are shitting on the thing before it even releases.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have a large amount of people that are saying that the thing's going to be amazing because they're either sponsored or they got an early chance to check it out or whatnot. It's such a weird world we live in, because like what Robert says, right?
Yeah, I'm about to speak on it. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Like what Robert says is he doesn't like the fact that people get this opportunity to make Respawn videos on YouTube ahead of the film because we still have to wait weeks, if not months.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's so unfair because like, how are we going to enjoy the movie like you did? Like, how are we going to be able to enjoy the movie when the movie comes out 2 weeks sometimes before we even get to it? So anything that happened to it, it happened in the movie, is going to get spoiled to us. Like we're going to have it spoiled a week before we can even see it. So now we're just anticipating the shit that got spoiled for us, and that shit fucking sucks. But like, going back to we're kind of jumping from like spoilers and reviews and stuff like that, but like the review aspect of it, I really don't pay it any mind. So I think Rob said before he couldn't wait for us to talk about the Hawkeye reviews and them being so bad. Mm-hmm. But the reviews from the critics were bad. But if you go on Google, it's got a 4.5 rating out of 5, a 4.5 star rating out of 5. Mm-hmm. It's got a 90. This is off of 2 episodes. It has a 93% Rotten Tomato from the audience.
From the audience, the people that actually watch it.
92% like this TV show. It's got a 8.2 out of 10 on an IMDb website. So fuck those reviews. Yeah. Like, people like the shit. I had my problems with Hawkeye, but that makes me happy for the topic that we're talking about. Yeah. For a lot of people that are just shitting on things just to be shitting on it, or giving it good reviews just to be giving it good reviews for whatever reason, just be your own decider. Because like, if I were going to be going off of the critics' reviews of Hawkeye, I wouldn't watch it. But now looking at this Rotten Tomato scores, you have a fucking 93. That's bigger than any movie that's been out right now. It hasn't. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think like right now, I guess the best thing you can kind of let people know is like, don't take film, video game, and movie critics as a source of like intelligent fact. Like, don't take it as something that has to be factual. It has to be taken as an opinion. Like, it has to be, because most of the time these people are not cinematically educated in some type of story or in some type of collegiate. They're not professionals. They don't have a doctorate in this shit. It's just people that are talking about their experiences on what they felt about it. That's the equivalent to a lot of these video game critics, right? I play a lot of video games. I love video games. Even at my age, I still love video games. There's a lot of video game critics out there that are like, oh, this video game sucks because it's too hard to play.
Okay.
And it's like, well, fucking get good, kid. Like, fucking just play video games. You can't go out there and be like, well, I was really good at fucking Animal Crossing and Warzone is just not my game. It's so hard and it's not even playable. And it's like, you get the fuck out of here. Like, play real games, dude. Like, you're fucking just get good. Like, how can you be a video game critic, reviewer, or this and that? Yeah. If you fucking suck at games, like if you're not good at them, that means you don't have any experience in games. Like that's you would, I at least say like, if you're gonna, like with us, right?
Mhm.
If you're going to talk about film or comic books or video games or anything, at least have some type of vast knowledge on experiencing other forms of it. It's
Mhm.
not just us coming in and talking about the Avengers, like just one group of people in a comic books because we like a film.
Yeah.
It's us talking about the entire realm of the comic universe through and through, from Spawn, from fucking Invincible, The Boys, The Umbrella Academy, from all the different franchises that are out there, just, coming out, crossover, all of the different Icon, you name them, we'll fucking drop knowledge on it.
Mhm.
But that's what gives us the opportunity to be able to correlate if a story is good or not, because we have experiences with different storylines. So, like, when it comes to talking video games, we have the opportunity to talk about video games because we have experience with other video games. So, when it comes to us talking about a TV show like Netflix's Hawkeye, we've seen all the other ones when they've come out as fans. We've seen all the other DC ones. We've seen fucking The Flash of the 1990 show.
Mhm.
We've seen the fucking Fantastic Four of like back in fucking the 80s, the fucking Captain America show in the 80s, and we compare them to all these different options. We don't base it on a person like, oh, a Hawkeye TV show, it's not going to be good because he's a shitty character in the movies and he's not even important.
Yeah.
It's like, well, tell me how he's in the comic book. Like, tell me how Kate Bishop is in the comic book. Do they have an opportunity to build a story on that based on the characters? Yeah, dude. Like, I'm for it. Don't destroy it. Don't destroy that aspect before it even comes out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I gave up on a lot of these like critics companies. Like, we were talking about fucking, what was that one guy we were talking about? Angry Joe.
Angry Joe.
Yeah, we are talking about Angry Joe, and I had not seen an Angry Joe video since Metal Gear 5, dude.
Yeah.
And even with Metal Gear 5, I'm a huge Metal Gear fan. And so apparently this guy is, and he was like, fuck Metal Gear 5, it fucking sucks, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, like, what are you talking about? Like, the gameplay, the game mechanics are revolutionary.
Yeah.
It's, even if the story wasn't great, which I know the story is not great, but the gameplay is still super amazing. Why are you just shitting on the whole franchise? Because it didn't give you what you wanted? Because it didn't give you, the one person that's not happy, what it wanted? It still made fucking millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
Because there's a bunch of other people out there that were super happy for it. I don't know. Like, Angry Joe can cry all he wants and I'll still like shit he doesn't like. But then again,
I think that's the reason why I like him so much, because I don't take what he says so seriously.
so serious.
I know what he's trying to do.
He's
And
just a shtick. He has his thing.
He's got his thing. He's got his thing. It works for him. And more power to him. Like, but if I want some entertainment on, so there's multiple reviews on the same shit that he's reviewing on, but if I want just a different topic on it, if I want some entertainment, a little bit of theatrics with it, I go to him. If I want a series review, I go to somebody else for a series review. Yeah, so it's like we had a long debate on a longer debate than I would like to admit about Angry Joe last night, but
that was wild to me, dude.
Yeah, but to be quite honest, I like the guy. I think that again, I don't know how he used to be in the past, but I know that in today's content, what he is a little bit more objective than what he used to be, I guess. And that's all I need. You give me the theatrics, you're being a little bit objective, you're giving me, entertainment. I'll watch it, man. I'll be part of that 300K views in 6 days and all that shit. So.
It's a good question. We got a question in the comment section from Vince.
We're gonna have the same
what's up, my dude? He says, I got a question. What video game do you want to see in a movie or a series?
We all have this. We're both gonna have the same answer, I bet.
What is it? What's yours, dude?
Metal Gear. It's gonna be Metal Gear.
Yeah, Metal Gear.
Yeah, it's gonna be Metal Gear.
Yeah, Metal Gear.
It's gonna have Isaac. Yeah, of course.
Galaga, I think. GTA or Batman Arkham Asylum or Halo. I think Halo right now is about to get a series. If I'm not mistaken, they're working on a series right now.
That does sound
Contra would
familiar.
be really interesting.
Batman Arkham Asylum, though, dude.
I mean, if
I
we're,
love
I
that
mean,
game.
that would just be a great story in general if we just got fucking Arkham Asylum, like just a regular Batman rogue
I
fighting in Arkham
love
Asylum.
that game, dude. If you give me that, but like, there's no way they're gonna pull that off,
Yeah,
though.
they're gonna put that. They need to get a regular Batman movie started just in general.
Yeah,
Yeah, they need to get fucking Ben Affleck quit beating up dudes with boxes and get some real shit going on. Yeah, but I
GTA,
think Metal
GTA, we
Gear
will never
Solid.
see. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid is definitely my answer. GTA, you'll never see that shit. You can throw that
Yeah,
out the window.
you
I
know,
would love to see
Gears of War wouldn't be a badass. It wouldn't be a bad idea either, man.
true.
You know, if they were to build like an entire, and don't tell me no Dave Bautista shit either, dude. Fucking Dave Bautista can lick an asshole about like
I
that
used
shit.
to like Gears of War, like the first one that came out. I was a big fan. Like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, Gears is great, man. I mean, even the story correlation all the way to like what Gears 4, Gears 5,
Yeah,
it still correlates in a very good way. Um, of course, they change the characters out because of, you know, the time periods or whatever. It's like Marcus Phoenix's kids and whatnot, but the story's still good.
yeah.
Like it's a dystopian future world fighting a bunch of fucking insect slash fucking monsters and shit, and they're just kicking their asses with chainsaw guns. You can't fucking beat that. Like to see that it, but done with by Ridley Scott of
Mhm.
Aliens or some
Yeah.
shit. That would be fantastic to see. I think that would be an amazing story. But yeah, I'm gonna say Metal Gear Solid's probably gonna be my number one choice, and we're hopefully getting that soon. They're still working on it. Like it's gonna be in the back pipe. That thing's gonna be, I hope, a masterpiece. Which
Once I heard
we just
Oscar
got the
Isaac was
news. We
involved,
just got the news too that Hideo Kojima's moving to movies.
yes,
Yeah,
or just yeah, something like that.
yeah, he's moving to film. So he probably won't be correlating into video games much. He's going to be working with the big leagues, making a studio. So that's exciting because, you know, Hideo Kojima's pretty good at what he does. And to know that he was trying to see if he could work on that Silent Hill video game PT, if we were to get a film instead, I'd kill for that shit. Do you remember PT? Do you remember when he was working on the Silent Hill game?
No.
Norman Reedus?
Okay, yeah, Norman
Yeah.
Reedus. Okay.
Norman Reedus was going to be in it, and it looked really fantastic. If you guys haven't seen that trailer or got to play that game back in the day, it was called PT, and it was supposed to be Hideo Kojima making a Silent Hill video game with Guillermo del Toro, and it was wild, man. It was such an experience, and it was like a small demo, and it did amazing stuff.
Wasn't there
Stuff.
another game that starred Reedus?
Yeah, he did Death Stranding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking
so
of.
that's what
what I'm
happened. So after they cut the film, so Konami cut them doing PT, and Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro and Norman Reedus were like, well, what do we do, guys? We're still friends, right? Like, and they were like, yeah, let's
I
just
did
go make
read
our
this.
own
Yeah,
video
I read
game.
this. You're right. Yeah.
So they ended up hooking up with, I got the game here somewhere. Yeah, I don't have it. I had it here for a bit. Horizon Zero Dawn, right, which is a really great video game on PlayStation 4. They hooked up with that company and did Death Stranding. Like,
Gotcha.
and so that's why there's a lot of correlation between those two video games. Like you'll see Easter eggs from both video games. So cool shit. But yeah, they look like they're going back to making a horror game, which it's gonna fucking kill, dude. They were doing so good with PT. But now we just have it to where Hideo Kojima himself is going to be moving to film. So that's exciting because that gives us even closer to the Metal Gear franchise / maybe even a series. Can you imagine if we got like a series of Metal Gear, like
dope.
dealing with like maybe like one of the squads or something? God, that would be so good, man. I would be fucking so for that, dude. I literally have a tattoo on my chest about Metal Gear Solid, dude.
I don't always get to see you so excited about things, man.
Oh yeah, that one I'm fucking excited for.
That one you're
I'm stoked, dude. That one would be so cool. But yeah, now this goes back to the question at hand. Do you think right now, just like our title here says, do you think that the critics are ruining the movie experience?
They're not ruining my movie experience. I can see how they're ruining other people's movie experience. The only thing that's fucking up my day is the movies being released so goddamn early to certain people, and then they're getting it. Then like the embargo is being lifted, and if you just go on Twitter just because you open Twitter, it can be ruined. It can be ruined. But is it ruining it? I mean, is it ruining my personal experience? No, not really.
No.
I can live. I'm a big boy. I'll be okay.
Good boy.
I'm a big boy.
I think I know exactly what you mean. I prefer to tell people, don't let the critiques and the reviews and stuff, don't let it ruin your opportunity to go out and see the film. Still go out and experience it. Like, don't take that shit like it's golden. Take it like a grain of salt. Go and enjoy the film. As a matter of fact, we're going to be talking about our last two subjects coming up, which are literally because of the critiques. A lot of people were talking really bad about these films, and I think we might have a different opinion. So,
Okay.
yeah. Which one would you like to talk about first?
Well, I'm assuming we're talking about Hawkeye, and what else are we talking about?
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil. Let's probably get Resident Evil out the way because you can probably just touch on that really quick, and then we'll head into Hawkeye.
Excellent. So I had the opportunity to go see Resident Evil with two of my good friends, Gilbert and Alex. Shout out to the boys, Everyday Media. We went out, we saw it. It was surprisingly pretty good. Surprisingly pretty good. Actually, I thought it was a lot better than the original Resident Evil films, which I know a lot of people would say right now, well, fuck those films, they suck.
Yeah.
But when Resident Evil Part 1 came out, it was pretty good for the time because we had never gotten a Resident Evil video game to movie film. Mm-hmm. So even to see Mila Jovovich come out as Claire or Alice or whoever the fuck she played, it was pretty cool. At the time, it was pretty cool. And we get to see, like, you know, the T-virus, and we get to see all the lickers and the zombies and the zombie dogs and, you know, fucking Alice doing jump kicks and kicking dogs while they're in the air and doing fucking crazy shit. Like, you know, at the time, it was pretty cool. When you look at it as an adult and you play the video game and you see what it did and you're kind of like, wow, that was really fucking lame. And then it went into like part 2 and that one was weird. And then part 3 was even weirder. And then by part 3, like, it lost almost the entire nature of what Resident Evil is supposed to be as a franchise.
Yeah.
This one actually returns to the aspect, of course, to Raccoon City, which is the where the Resident Evil video game from the original, what was it, the PlayStation Part 1?
The first one was
PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1. Yep.
Like, it literally returns to all the major points of that game that you remember.
Okay.
So literally visually, it gives you everything. What was even a bigger surprise, and I know Robert will vouch for me on this, is the locations of scenes are identical to the video game. Identical to it. So there was even parts of the thing where you're like, oh man, can you imagine that they have to do some kind of stupid puzzle? Because it was showing parts of the game where there would be puzzles involved. Okay. So do you remember that in the Resident Evil franchise where you would like see a statue and you're like, you got to fucking find some shit?
I hated that shit, yeah.
They literally do a part where they have to solve a puzzle in one of the scenes. And I was really like, get the fuck out of here. You're going to have this dude solve a puzzle? What the fuck? And that's when I was kind of like, okay, I know what this film is doing. It's literally reaching for all the nostalgia of the Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah, that sounds pretty dope.
And it hit every mark.
Really? My
only complaint, on my own personal opinion, is I feel like the script was just very dry. It was just very dry. It wasn't, it suffers from the exact same thing that every video game to movie suffers from.
I ask a question. I'm starting to ask a question these days. Would this have been better off just being like a Netflix movie?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. When we were walking out, I was like, you know what? I kind of feel this would have been a better streaming movie.
Okay.
Like, and it's nothing bad because it's still going to make its fucking money.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, it was way better than Doom. Okay. Like, when Doom came out, like, there was something you expected from Doom. There was things that you expected because of the video game.
Of course.
And then it didn't give us that except for that one little part at the end when the guy goes fucking crazy and gets the chainsaw and does all this other shit, and you get that first person view, and you're like, yeah, it's like Doom the game or whatever. Everything other than that was kind of like it's stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
This movie actually gives you everything you want to see. Like everything about the video game that you love is there. Like no joke. Name something from Resident Evil right now from the first game that you remember, and I'll tell you if it's in the movie.
I just remember from the first game, I just remember a lot of jump scares. I like the slowly opening the doors into like I just remember like the first person view of going through the doors and like you said, like the puzzles and collecting fucking all the keys and random shit that's all over the place. Like,
okay, so literally, other than the cinematography idea of them going through a door slowly,
yeah,
you already mentioned like 5 things that come out in that movie.
No shit.
Yeah, there's keys all over the fucking place for no reason. Everybody's
just random keys.
Just getting some random skeleton keys, dude. The mansion's there.
Yeah.
Of course the mansion's there. The helicopter scene that's in the game is there. Literally, okay, so in the first video game, do you remember the first zombie you interact with? Do you remember he's like eating someone and you see him under a stairway?
Oh, you see him. Yeah.
He kind of like slowly turns and gives you that look. Yeah. That's in the movie.
Oh,
like
shit.
that exact moment is in the movie. The stairway that zigs down is in the movie. Like,
I'll tell you what, you're selling
in this movie.
You're selling the shit out this movie. I kind of want to see it now.
It's literally a good movie. Like it's just a good chill movie, but it would have been better streaming. The only reason why I say that is because when you go to a movie, when you go to a film, my opinion is you want to see the artistic side to all of it. It's not just the visual, but it has to be the writing. It's got to be the acting. Everything's got to be involved.
Yeah.
I wasn't really a big fan on how they did Leon Kennedy.
What?
Like they did Leon Kennedy, like the way, Rob, you could probably vouch for me on this. They wrote him like a fucking idiot. Like he's a complete noob, considering the fact that he's like one of the biggest badasses with Chris throughout the franchises. Like they wrote him to be like a complete failure, like at everything he does in life. So he's kind of like the comedy relief. That's the easiest way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like the comedy. Yeah, well, yeah, there you go, Robert. He's the rookie. So they literally make him a rookie.
Gotcha.
But yeah, other than that, you know, the guy that plays Whisker did amazing. The girl that was Ghost in Ant-Man, she plays she plays what's her fucking name? Jill Valentine.
Okay, yeah.
So they did like a character, like a gender swap, not a gender swap, but a race swap, right? So Jill Valentine, everybody knows, is primarily like the short white girl with like short black hair, kind of like with the Karen cut. And now it's the female that came out in Ant-Man, who was the villain that played Ghost. Was it Ghost? Was that her name? I can't remember her fucking name. Ghost. Yeah, it was that character. She did an amazing job. She didn't have like a big job in this. It won't be until the later games that she gets like a bigger story. But literally, this movie was literally video game 1 and video game 2. Like Resident Evil. Oh, that's
cool. I think those are like the
best ones.
The best ones that I remember playing. Yeah. So
like it literally correlates it to it all the way, like straight up. Like you get your 18-wheeler that smashes into stuff. That plays a big scene. You get the fire department on fire that Claire has to get into. Like everything is there per video game. Really? So like visually, everything is like right on point. The only thing that falls short is that the script just isn't strong.
Which is weird because you just have to follow the fucking video game.
Yes and no, right? Because like in the video game, if you think about it, if you weren't interacting, it would probably be boring as fuck. Like if you weren't playing the game, you wouldn't be as involved because it's just kind of like,
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like you would think that, you know, you could just put it through and through. Yeah. You could tell that there was a lot of creative independence when it came to the script.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you could tell
a lot of liberties were taken. Yeah, a lot of liberties were taken.
A lot of liberties were taken. But like everything else was there to make the characters who they were in the franchise. So comparing this to any other iteration of Resident Evil, I dug it. Like I would instantly see a part 2 to this. Like I would instantly see a part 2. A lot of people are already shitting on it because of the cast. Like all the reviews is based on, oh, this guy sucks.
Are there any big names?
Yeah, well, so the dude that plays Leon Kennedy is one of the dudes that came out on Victoria Justice's TV show on Disney.
Okay.
He's the Indian guy, the Indian kid. He's
Okay.
I mean, he plays him good. He does super well, dude. He's he doesn't have like the cool Leon Karen hairdo with the long bangs, but he does have cool ass long hair.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
He did a really good job. The girl from that plays the Ghost or the Phantom,
Jill Valentine.
Ant-Man 2. Dude, Stephen Amell's brother plays Chris.
Robbie Amell.
Robbie Amell plays Chris Redfield. He did a fucking amazing job. Now his sister, I'm not really familiar with her as an actress. But Luther from Umbrella Academy plays Wesker. So that was cool as fuck because he's a really cool actor. And then that one guy that comes out in, I'm gonna find him right now. He's a really, really good actor. Minority Report.
You're probably talking about Donald Lague.
He's
the only face that I really know from this.
Yeah,
this
Neil
guy.
Donahue, or what is it? I don't know how to say his name.
Neil McDonough.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah, okay,
he plays one of the scientists. He plays William Blake, I think, who ends up turning into like one of the main villains of the story, the main villain of the first one. Good cast, dude. Like, everybody did fucking solid work. Yeah, everyone did solid work. There were so many hints and tip of the hats to the Resident Evil franchise that I feel like it did it justice.
Gotcha.
I feel that Mila Jovovich would be impressed. So that's all I can say. I dug it. Would I think it's like a 10 out of 10? No, not really. Would I consider it like a 4 out of 10? No. So it's going to be higher.
Christ, it's got a 26% Rotten Tomato. Well, it just came out, right? It just came out, right?
Yeah, it just came out. Like it's been out for a couple days already.
82%. Well, that's crazy. So the Rotten Tomato gives it a 26%. Metacritic gives it 44%. It's got a 5.6 out of 10 on the IMDb. And
yeah, I was gonna say it's like a 6, maybe like a weak 6.
But the Google users, the people that are Googling reviews for this movie, are giving it an 82% like. So I don't know what to do with that. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty cool.
I would give it like a mid-range 6.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's not something that you can't. Okay, so the funniest thing that happened to us, and this is what I was talking about off scene. I don't know if it's going to do good for the film or it's a good selling point. There was a dude that crashed out during the whole goddamn movie, and he was like snoring in the back of the fucking theater.
Pretty sure he thinks it's a 3 instead of a 6.
Right? So what's really funny is that while he was snoring, you could hear him like going, like the sound. And I remember looking, and in my mind, I was like, yo, if that's a kid, you better not be fucking. I'll slap the shit out of you if you're going to get around being acting like you're going to be a zombie in a theater. You're going to stand up and start. I will slap the shit out of you. I ain't messing around. When it comes to being in a zombie movie, if someone starts acting like a zombie, they're going to get punched. They're going to get kicked. They're going to get their ass whooped. Like, I ain't going to take any chances because that's like the beginning of a zombie movie. Yeah, you're in a theater and some shit pops off, right? But there was literally a dude in the back of the fucking theater that was that fell asleep, and he was super loud enough to where that everyone in the theater could hear it. But I don't know if it was up for the idea that this movie was not like it wasn't shit, but it wasn't great. That everyone was giggling and laughing.
I would have threw something at them.
Yeah, more than they were mad about it. Because I would have figured, I would have been like super pissed off if the movie was good.
I would have totally went to the concession stand. I would have bought the biggest box of Junior Mints I could possibly
and just
find.
Fucking throw them at him,
just start chucking them at him. Just start chucking him at him, waking his ass up every fucking 10 minutes, waking his ass up.
It was just so funny, and I don't know what it was, but like there would just be like moments in the movie where like you're expecting some shit to pop off, and then you hear a and yeah, dude, I was like, oh, that was so fucking perfect timing. It had its moment of
Oh
comedy, dude. It really
shit.
was.
That would have
And
pissed
and it
me
was
the
cool. It
fuck
was a
off.
small group of people in the theater, and yeah, they let that dude just crash. They let him just stay
They
asleep.
just let him sleep.
Yeah,
Just
they let
let
him
him just
sleep.
like
Yeah.
fuck it.
Dude,
Whatever,
but that's
dude.
because like when everybody was done with the film, the dude was still asleep. The credits came, the dude was still asleep. Everybody was getting up after everybody was done. The dude was still asleep. I was like, man, I feel bad for his wife, dude. If he
He
was on a
came to the
date, I
movies.
feel
Yeah,
worse for his date.
so what it what it was, he came to the movies just to get the fuck out the house and get
Out the
some sleep.
house, right?
He probably has
He
like
just
fucking 6 kids at the house, bro.
he just
He's like,
needed, yeah, he needed escape, man.
he needed an
Yeah,
escape,
we
bro.
took it as something like, yeah, that guy just needed to get away. He
He
needed a bed to sleep
break,
in,
man. And life was kicking
reclined
his ass.
seats in the theater and shit. He just needed a
Life was
rest.
kicking his
He
ass,
didn't bother him, poor dude. But yeah, overall, I think the movie experience for Resident Evil wasn't too bad. It was like I said, like a 6. No, it wouldn't be a 7.
Fair
I
enough.
wouldn't give it a 7 because I gave the Eternals a 7, and you know the Eternals would probably be a lot better than this movie.
Fair enough.
But is it watchable? Yeah, I think if you're a fan of Resident Evil, you go watch this, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna
See,
be,
I was a fan of Resident Evil, but then once you start getting to like Resident Evil 7, 8,
oh
I was
man,
about
it's
the
so
movies.
hard.
The movies though, yeah. The games I can still play, but the movies, man, they were just so fucking hard to watch, dude. Like it was
But you know
just
what? I was that's actually something we talked about on the ending with my friends that I went with, and I said, you know what? But this is what Resident Evil needs right now.
a
You know,
nice
like
reboot.
as a franchise, it needs this. It needs to bring a little bit of attention done in the right way,
Yeah.
so that they can get some cash going in it. You know what it reminded me of? Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
It reminded me of that kind of movie where like Mortal Kombat was like you could watch it. Would you make it into like? Would you consider it like a Marvel style movie or something big like that? No, but it's like a casual bang them up, fucking just go watch movie, just action
The
shit.
new one or the old
Yeah,
one?
the newer Mortal Kombat,
The new one.
where
Okay.
like it was like it correlates okay with the story, but it still kind of had a lot of liberty.
I had a lot of problems with that movie, but
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's what I mean. Like it's not like perfect, but
yeah.
could you watch it?
I could
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah, you can watch it, and that's kind of like what this movie felt like. Like you could watch it. Could it have done better? Yeah, and I think like since they made the film, I think they only gave them enough budget to kind of get away with what they did.
Yeah.
But if it does do well and they do reach a part 2, I think it's going to be one of those things that they're like, hey, the first one we did all right, but I think we can do better, and I believe in it now. That's what I think. So yeah, straight up, I think it's a good watch if you want to spend the money, and if you're a fan of Resident Evil. If you're not really a big fan and you're thinking it's going to be something that's big, nah, I would say save it. Yeah, save it up. Wait for it to come to stream. It's going to be like a DVD kind of film. So yeah,
All
that's
right,
my
dude.
opinion.
All right, bro. It's that time.
Yeah. So
It's that
right
time.
on to the last subject that we're going to be talking about, something that was actually pretty cool and caught me by fucking surprise. Hawkeye, man. Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Did it catch you by surprise? I didn't know it was going to get released.
No, I was on it. I think me. Well, I think what I think happened. Rob had asked in the chat earlier, "Was anybody ready?" And then I was working my ass off that day, and then I totally remembered that that Hawkeye was coming on. Then I knew like a couple of days beforehand, but I totally forgot until that day. And I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot! It's Wednesday. It's Tuesday night or Wednesday
Dude,
night."
I didn't even dude, if it wasn't for the chat, Rob, God bless you, my child.
Yeah, man.
If it wasn't for you, Robert, I would have not known Hawkeye was coming out. I wouldn't have known. I figured it was going to be like almost just into December kind of exclusive. But here we are. It got released this week, and we have our first 2 episodes of Hawkeye.
Mhm.
What did you think?
Ooh, I wasn't impressed as much as I thought I would be.
Okay.
The first episode, the second episode was a little bit better. The thing that saved the first episode for me was the 2012 attack on New York scene. That was pretty cool.
The return.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. The second episode, it started picking up a little bit. So for me, and I think I even said in the chat, I don't want to be too critical based off of 2 episodes so far. I want to give it I want to give it a chance, but so far it just needs to pick up just a little bit more for me. I think I had already knew going in it was going to be Kate Bishop centric. So I'm fine with not having Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye on the screen as much, in the first episode or whatever.
Mhm.
But the story is great. I'm invested. It's just something that's missing that I think that they'll probably figure out probably within the next episode or two. And if I'm not mistaken, it's only 6 episodes, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's about 6 episodes long.
Can somebody confirm how many episodes? But I think it's only 6. And if it's only 6, with what I'm hearing, they're trying to cram, and how many characters are trying to cram yeah, they need to be careful, dude. Like, they may fuck this up because I just want them to tell a really good story. Um, I don't necessarily need an overflow of characters thrown at me just so I can say that this is a good show. You
Yeah, it
know?
looks like it's going to be 6 episodes long,
Yeah.
concluding on December 22nd.
Yeah. So we're a third. No, we're a third.
Yeah, we're third in.
We're a third in,
Mhm.
and yeah. So
And already from the final episode, we'll be getting an intro to our newest character that's going to be
Echo.
coming in, which should be Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Echo will be a character that's coming in, which if you don't know who that is, we won't spoil anything. But if you didn't know who that was, me even saying her name doesn't really matter because you have to read some shit to know who the fuck Echo is. But I was good with it. I was cool with it. It literally, it doesn't feel disconnected. It feels like it's still very connected. I like the fact that they were kind of going with the idea that he suffers from like a PTSD because of the thing. Like they're watching an event,
Broadway. Okay.
and he is interpreting it based on, of course, his experiences, his life experiences, and it's freaking him the fuck out. Just like the Kate Bishop show, they've already brought in the aspect that he's already suffering from hearing loss.
Hearing loss.
And it's very weird because the actual way that he becomes deaf in the show is he takes an arrow to the ear from Kate Bishop in the comic book.
In comics.
This one, it's more in the sense of like all the shit he's been through.
Yeah.
That's fucked
And
up
you
his
know
hearing,
what?
and it makes
I
sense.
like that. I like
Yeah,
the
it makes
fact
sense.
that I like the fact that yes, he is surrounded by superhuman
Yeah.
beings
And
that
it's
don't
hard to
have
keep
any
up.
after effect. He's a fucking human being, dude.
Yeah.
So like the shit that he goes through, the shit that he goes through trying to follow up behind them is gonna take a toll. It's gonna take a toll on him.
Yep. I like the fact on how, like you said, they added the Battle of New York, where Kate Bishop actually witnessed him,
That was dope.
fighting and then jumping off the building, and kind of seeing this where his experience was like, dude, I fucked myself up. Like right after that, like that was the worst day of my life, landing under the window and all this other shit. There's a lot of like domino effect method where everything kind of. I love the fact that Disney focuses so much on making little things happen, making little things, even to the aspect of knowing that the group who's running the auction is from the comic books that plays an important role.
Yeah.
Even the fact that they chose like the Bros gang, like those guys are really funny. Like I thought that was a hilarious thing.
Yeah.
Like they even have them just saying bro all day. Like
I love the dynamic between Kate Bishop and her mom. Yeah, and her mom and everybody. To be honest with you, but mostly the family thing, like that to me is more interesting. I think I'm more invested in her relationship with her family than I am with her and Hawkeye at this point. Because like there is just something weird going on with the family, and I know that as soon enough we'll find out what it is. I have so many thoughts on it, so many speculations on it. This isn't the time. This is a non-spoiler, obviously, guys. So
yeah, we're not trying to kill
you guys, just take it easy in the comments. But Vince, I did see that I did hear that Easter egg too. It was put in there for a reason, I think, and we will find out very, 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 very soon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, John even says that he believes that the mom and the boyfriend are in cahoots.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, like if you read the comic books, you know that the boyfriend plays a role.
A major role.
Yeah, a major role. And he's also in charge of this group that's like a circus.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually a huge member in teaching
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye and Kate Bishop like
Mm-hmm.
how to do arrow shit and do all this stuff. It's the
He
same
was
thing then
he's a mentor. He was
how
basically a mentor.
it's very cool because like it correlates with the idea on like how Hawkeye knew Ant-Man,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the idea of like when Ant-Man jumps on the arrow and he's like, okay, arrow guy, like go ahead and shoot me off or whatever. Remember in the movie, like was it Civil War?
Mm-hmm.
That was really, really big in the comic books because Hawkeye and Ant-Man both were part of like this thieves guild that was called like the circus or something like that. And they were both a part of it. And that's where they even met each other. And that's why there's a lot of animosity towards both of them. But of course, the cinematic universe doesn't do that. But you'll see that Ant-Man and Clint Barton really doesn't give a shit about him. Like he's like real asshole. Like, come on, man, get out of the car. I'm not giving you coffee or whatever. Remember that one scene in Civil War?
Yeah.
Like, he just treats him very dick-like, right? But then again, you look at Hawkeye and the way he's been in the films. My favorite part, of course, was Civil War's Clint Barton. Like the way he was in Civil War Civil War, when he shows up and he sees Black Panther and he's like, I don't think we've been introduced. I'm Clint. And he's like, I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. And then later on, it's like, hey, Tony Stark sees him and he's like, oh, Clint, I thought you were on vacation. He's like, I was golfing. I shot 20 for 20. Like he's very like subtly funny.
Yeah.
But he gets that he's an intelligent individual when it comes to the strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing also like when he fights Vision. Like he's not ill prepared.
Yeah.
But he's still kind of making pop shot jokes because that's the way I guess him as a person deals with stressful situations. He's always got a smart ass kind of thing to say.
Yeah.
And they correlate that very, very good in this. Where like even when he's talking to his kids, he's still a smart ass. Talking to his wife, he's still a smart ass. Talking to Kate Bishop, he's a complete smart ass. But you'll see that there's certain parts of him that he's like, dude, tell me you weren't wearing the costume when you walked home.
Yeah.
Like, and there's parts that you could see that even the LARPing episode
best scene
was it was phenomenally funny, dude. I didn't know.
And you know what's weird? And you know what's weird? There is a big reviewer. Her name is Grace Randolph.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She hated that scene.
What?
Hated it. I could not tell you. I was like, no. And then I saw it and I fucking loved it.
I mean, this goes back to that idea of people that don't know shit about the reviews.
They don't know shit like that scene.
The whole concept behind that, the whole symbolism behind that is he LARPs as a superhero.
Yeah.
He's just a dude with a bow and arrow beating up fucking robots and doing it. He's a dude that LARPs as a superhero.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily a superhero. He's just a dude in a costume that gets a bow. Like there's nothing special about him. He himself and his hard work and his diligence makes him a hero.
Yeah.
And that's the cool part about that. Like for that moment, even though he's like getting shit on by some nerdy dude that's a fire department dude in a LARPing competition, he's still a hero. Like he still like puts his pride aside to bring someone joy, which is going to correlate later because that was a great setup for the dude. Like, hey, dude, anytime you need something, you let me know. And he's like, all right, cool. Like, and he's like, no, for real. It's like, I'm this, hit me up if you ever need anything. He has the hookup with a fire department guy in New York City if he ever needs an escape. Gotcha. Like he's got it. Like, it's really cool setups. Like they're really, really nice setups.
The LARP, the LARP scene. I'm just gonna pick out a few things for me. The LARP scene was good since we already called it the LARP scene. The LARP scene is really good. The 2012 attack on New York, and then another thing that stood out to me that just gave me like fuck yeah vibes. Was when during there is a scene where Clint excuses himself to the bathroom. And he sees on his sink that something was written. I don't want to give it away to anybody
that's right. Good call. I didn't even think about that.
To anybody that hasn't seen it yet, but just that statement, it puts us in a sense that where the world is at that point, like
how torn it is,
like how torn it is, and how divided it is after the snap. Like Yeah, that part
That
stuck
was
out.
an interesting dynamic for them to bring into the show because it's so grounded. Like
Mhm.
that's some shit that you're not gonna hear or see in like the Eternals movie or
Mhm.
Guardians movie or anything like that. But you're gonna see it street level on the Punisher side. Like, you know, you'll see people that are like super radical about situations that correlate with that kind of idea.
Yeah.
And then it just goes back to that dynamic with the dude in the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
There were just it was just enough to really make it feel like this doesn't feel like WandaVision. Like WandaVision felt like its own superhero story.
Yeah. I kind
This
of get
one,
I get myself in a situation where I kind of pin them up against each other instead of just having them on their own, and I don't like doing that.
but you know what? Like that's what I think people are doing, and that's why sometimes it gets bad reviews.
Yeah.
Is because they're kind of making it into this like, well, it's not a superhero movie.
Yeah.
But the dude's not a superhero. If you think about it, he's like a James Bond.
Yeah.
And if you were to put this movie against Mission Impossible, I think it feels better.
Mm.
Like it feels more doable if you put it up against like the James Bond movies where like Henry Cavill's fighting Tom Cruise in the bathroom or whatever.
Okay.
Like if you kind of say like, okay, cool, like Hawkeye compared to that, I dig it. Like I can see it. Like those I can kind of like I can compare them to. But if you say Hawkeye versus Ant-Man, Hawkeye versus, you know, WandaVision, Hawkeye versus it's not gonna vouch to those.
Mhm.
Even with the idea of it, would you consider this better or equal to Falcon and
Don't
the
do
Winter Soldier?
that. I was gonna say don't do that because
But no, just in
I
correlation, just in correlation.
in
Because even with
correlation
that, those
correlation,
characters have something special about them.
I understand, but 2 episodes in, I'm probably was more invested in Falcon and Winter Soldier
Okay.
than I am 2 episodes in
For the Hawkeye.
for Hawkeye
And
at
you know
this
what?
point.
It makes a lot of sense. And the reason why is because why do we need such importance for Kate Bishop?
Because she's going to lead us to the Young Avengers.
But yeah, but like compared to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where you have two
Oh,
extending characters,
we don't have any
yeah, you don't have
relationship.
any necessity to have it.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like it's hard to base this on other shows in the Marvel universe. And that's where I feel that maybe a lot of these critics are saying it's not good because it's not Marvel. It doesn't feel like a Marvel movie.
I do think it's going to pick up though.
Oh,
I
definitely.
wholeheartedly think that being that there's only 6 episodes, and again, from what I've been reading, they have to cram in a lot of shit in the next 4 episodes, dude. So this is going to be fast. This is going to be fucking. This is going to hit hard.
What
This is
should we be expecting for the next 4 episodes?
a lot of additional characters to be introduced. Ones that were, or I can say without spoiling anything, because it's already been damn near announced that we have Yelena Bolova. She's going to show up at some
Oh,
point in this show. There's other characters that have been rumored to be involved in this show. And then we still got to deal with a fucking storyline. We still got to deal with whatever story they're trying to tell us right now.
do you think there's a huge possibility we're gonna get uh like a reveal of the Kingpin?
I do. I do
Whoa,
believe.
fuck for reals from the Netflix series?
Yes, I do. I do believe that he will make an appearance. I think that us seeing Echo is a hint towards that being her relationship with the Kingpin.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And I honestly think and this is just my speculation. I just think that he has something to do with Kate Bishop's family. I think Kingpin and Kate Bishop's mom, I think they have some type of business dealings together, and I think that's how he'll be introduced into the show.
Damn, that's actually pretty cool to see Vincent Garofalo come out and like. I mean, to see him
Dude,
alongside Hawkeye would be really cool because then it
I
just
would
puts
love
you in
to
that
see.
universe.
I would love that. And I want the chunky, big back, 300, 400 pound fucking Kingpin. That's
To
what I
Michael
want.
Clark Duncan, dude.
I don't want the fucking yeah. I
I
don't
love
want
that
the
one.
fucking I forgot about that.
Yeah, I fucking
Totally
love that
forgot
one.
about
It's so
that.
weird, but I fucking
Forgot
love it.
about that. Shit. I don't want the skinny version of Kingpin. I don't want that one. I want the fucking fat, big
Oh wow.
knuckle, like his hands are like the size of people's fucking heads and shit. I
Yeah.
want that Kingpin, dude.
It's cool. Like John says,
CG
I
up.
think for Hawkeye, it would be good to see Yelena, Miss Valentine, which is the chick that came out with Yelena on the other
Yeah, yeah.
movies, and maybe US Agent.
US
I think
Agent.
US Agent might be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
The possibility of seeing Yelena and Valentine would probably be closer, but Yelena for sure, we know she's in the casting. If you look up Google right now, the cast, she
Yeah,
actually
she's in
pops
there.
up.
Yeah, she's
So
in there.
it's not really much a spoiler. You just got to look for it. Um, but how do you feel about the idea of Jeremy Renner coming out in interviews and talking about the opportunity of him starring and taking in the idea of him creating the West Coast Avengers?
It's fucking dope. I like Jim. I have always liked Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye.
Mhm.
I never had an issue with it. I think that there was always a place for him. So if he wants to continue that, I don't see why he shouldn't
Do you
have
see
that
him?
ability.
Do you see him picking up the role of like the Black Widow character with the Avengers
I hope not.
in the
I
phase
don't. I
where?
don't. I don't want that because it'll be obvious that that's what
Well,
it is.
the reason what I mean by that is like because of the fact that Black Widow was with Captain America
Mhm,
creating the Avenger squads. That would be like at the end of Age of Ultron, where it's Steve Rogers and Black Widow that are getting everybody together to create the new team.
mhm.
Like to see Jeremy Renner be that for the West Coast Avengers and him kind of start it and have like War Machine, maybe. And this is just me praying that it happens, which I never get what I want. Wonder Man. Wonder Man would
Okay.
be really, really cool. Um, there, and then Wanda, of course, Wanda was a part of the West Coast Avengers. There's a lot of people that are part of West Coast Avengers, but Luke
Mhm.
Cage is part of that. Like, do you think? And then not only that, with the growth of Yelena's character coming in, like them starting, because the idea would be we're gonna get like the Thunderbolts, right?
Mhm.
That was what everybody was really, really hoping for. But if instead of the Thunderbolts, we get the West Coast Avengers and the Thunderbolts at the same time, and that's the crew that ends up fighting each other,
Mhm.
like that wouldn't be that far fetched of a story either.
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be at all. And it actually would be a story that I'd be down for. Listen again. Whatever capacity you give me a Jeremy Renner Hawkeye,
Mhm.
I'm gonna take it. I'm
Yeah,
down for it. If you want to put him as the creator of the Young Avengers,
that
I'm
would be
cool
cool
with that.
too. I
I'm
never even
cool with
thought
that
about that.
too.
You
Yeah.
know what's actually interesting is isn't he? No, is it him? No, I know that they made a Young Avengers cartoon,
Mhm.
and I thought Hawkeye was a part of it in
It's
some
part of
way.
it.
Yeah, but maybe I'm overthinking it. But I know that right now they have a Old Man Hawkeye
Mhm.
comic book where he's like pretty much Oliver Queen from the fucking DC universe, like all old man fighting Superman, kind of like the lone survivor.
Mhm.
But he's in the Old Man Logan storyline, and he was a big character in the Old Man Logan storyline too. So
If you think
it's
about it, the Young Avengers, we're almost done.
yeah, they're pretty much almost here, which is
We're
crazy. I
almost
think the only character they haven't introduced
Hulkling.
yet is Hulkling, right?
Yeah, Hulkling's the only one I
Yeah.
think of the original that hasn't been at least mentioned or talked about.
And the other one would be Amadeus Cho, but Amadeus Cho has been slightly introduced by his sister, who was in
Sure.
Age of Ultron. She was
Sure.
the scientist that helped Ultron get the
Mhm.
body.
Yeah.
So that's Amadeus Cho's sister. So that reference is there.
Mhm.
So you could have a younger version of the Hulk and just remove the Hulk from Bruce Banner and have the totally awesome Hulk. Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. It looks like it's getting a lot closer. We know that the Young Avengers are coming.
Mhm.
We know we'll eventually get like a young Tony Stark because we're going to get a Kang the Conqueror
King the
and all
Conqueror,
this
that's
other
the
stuff.
thing.
So,
Yeah, so
and that's because Iron Lad plays a
Iron
huge
Lad.
story
Yeah.
with that. So, yeah, I mean, and it's not even that bad. The girl that they chose for Kate Bishop is really, really good.
I
She
like
did an
her.
amazing job in Transformers. To see her a part of the Marvel Universe as Kate Bishop, I think that's great. I think the idea of having like a Kate Bishop coming into the Marvel Universe is cool. It gives us the opportunity to have a whole new, fresh image of what the Avengers is and has to
Mhm.
offer. Of course, my biggest concern had been the storylines of the Young Avengers. Like, it's not really that great, but the
Mm.
storylines with the Young Avengers in Kang is really good.
Mm.
So like for them to come in right now and Kang be the big bad of the next cinematic universe kind of
Mm.
thing, I think that's going to correlate very good. I think they're going to do a fantastic job. So right now, I know we're only 2 episodes in. Scale of 1 to 10. That's a really hard one, I know.
Um, based on the first 2 episodes, I'll give it a 6.5.
Okay.
With the potential, I honestly do see this going up to maybe like a 8.5. I think they're gonna pull off these next 4 episodes. But as of
Excellent.
right now, I'll give it like a 6.5.
Already better than Resident Evil. For me, yeah, I'm probably gonna give it about a 7.5. I really think it started off good. I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago on the show where I said Marvel has a tendency of doing street level hero shit really good.
Mhm.
And so far, it hasn't disappointed me with the way that they've handled Hawkeye.
Okay.
I think Jeremy Renner himself is a good actor. I know he's
Absolutely.
made other movies and stuff that they don't really hit as big,
Mhm.
but his Hawkeye, the way he portrays Hawkeye, is really fucking awesome.
Well, I honestly think that Hawkeye is more like Jeremy Renner. Like I think it's
It's
more
just
close
him.
to it's just him. You
Yeah.
know, he's like he's acting, but he's not acting, you know. And then not only that, but these other movies, he's not really the main character.
Yeah, he's not.
He's usually like a second, second person or whatever, co-star or whatever, but this is his show. And so
Well,
and
I mean,
even this,
sort
and
of.
even
Yeah,
this,
because
yeah, I'm saying even this
it'll
show, he's
move.
kind of like the co-star.
Yeah, even with this one, it's going to end up being where it's, Kate Bishop. It's just Hawkeye because Kate Bishop ends up donning the name of Hawkeye. So that's why it's called a Hawkeye. It's not
Okay,
really
'cause
like
they're both called Hawkeye.
yeah. So it's going to be like you said, it'll be like a Kate Bishop centric story.
Hmm.
But yeah, she's going to end up taking the name and he's going to kind of retire, I'm guessing. Cause you kind of feel it where he's kind of like, his body's already letting it be done, and he's just gonna go into like this hermit mode. Maybe he's gonna be
Yeah,
like the Nick Fury of the West Coast
recruiter.
Avengers, if
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the way I feel. Right now I give it about a 7. I think it's gone very well. Jeremy Renner has done an amazing job so far. The
Absolutely.
girl that plays Kate Bishop, I think she's very silly right now, which is like she's very immature, but just the right type of immature that it bounces off of Jeremy Renner's character.
Hmm.
I think the cast that they chose around her, the way they introduced the swordsman, the way the mom is, like the correlation between all the characters and how they're acting is very well. I think for what it's worth, the first episode was kind of clunky, and the second episode kind of fixed that clunkiness when they
Okay.
introduced Jeremy Renner and her together. So yeah, I'm really excited, man. I think they're gonna do fantastic. I'm really dawning on the idea on that it only has 4 more episodes
Hmm.
and knowing that Yelena is going to come out in one of them, like it's that's a and then Vincent Garofalo maybe, and then that's some big fucking moves, man, for a little show. But then
Yep.
again, Loki brought in fucking Kang the Conqueror. You know
True.
what I mean? And that was like the biggest fucking move because I don't think anybody was prepared to see that actor guy come out knowing that he's going to be the big Thanos of the MCU. You know what I mean? Knowing that we were going to get that.
I think we knew he was coming, but I think him and you know what? I got to give some of these actors a lot of credit, man. They'll lie to us,
They'll
won't
lie
they?
straight to your
They'll
face,
lie
man.
they'll lie
Yeah.
straight to
Andrew
us.
Garfield out there being like, nah, man, I'm going to really disappoint you guys. I'm
They
not
will
even in that film.
they will lie straight to our face. But yeah, he said that, he's tried to act like he didn't know what the fuck Loki was as a
Yeah,
show.
yeah. He was like, I don't really know what that is. He
I
was
don't
in
even
an
know what
interview. He's
the
like,
yeah.
they
Didn't
want
even
me to do some character, but what are you asking? Am I going to be in what? No, I don't even. What is that? Like, I don't even. He's that good of an actor, man. He just acted his way out of fucking letting us know he was in the goddamn show, and amazing job.
Amazing job.
But
Amazing.
yeah, like, can they pull it off? Would they put it off? Yeah, I think so. Now we got some really cool comments in the comment section. Vince said, since they're adding Echo, they should make a post-credit scene that Echo meets Daredevil. I think it's a little too much to put Daredevil in it. Plus, Daredevil is already apparently going to be coming out in Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
So we know he's in the universe if that's true. And then we got Robert saying, do you think they will be connected with Spider-Man's universe with the multiverse or something will it happen? Do you think you'll be connected? That I'll be connected? I don't know. I think I have to reiterate that question.
Before you continue, now that I think about it, if they really wanted, they can put Daredevil in all of these shows and movies. He
Oh,
has some
definitely.
type of correlation with everybody,
Everyone.
with everyone.
Mhm.
He can be in Hawkeye. He can be in She-Hulk. He can be in Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's how cool Daredevil is. That's why he's like all over the Avengers comic books when they come out.
This motherfucker can be in all of these if you
But you
if
see,
you
the
really
only
want to.
reason why they don't do that is because they're not releasing the information that Daredevil is a part of the MCU.
It's part of the
That's really
MCU.
what it is. And the thing is because if if they say that Matthew Cox is a part of the MCU, that the Daredevil is, then 100% Punisher is part of the
Punisher's
MCU.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Then that the Punisher, like in Blade, will probably be in Blade.
Yeah.
Or that, okay, even better, they're gonna make a Midnight Suns with Punisher.
Yeah.
Like 100%. And we're gonna get that with Spider-Man. When Spider-Man comes out, if Daredevil is in that movie,
Mm-hmm.
if Matt Murdock is in that film, 100% they're making Midnight Suns with Punisher. Like 100%. I'll put my fucking life on the line to tell you that Punisher, that John Bernthal is going to
John
be coming.
Bernthal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that he's there. I guarantee it. So do you think it'll be connected with the Spider-Man universe with the multiverse? Oh, okay. I get what he's saying. Do you think that the Sony Spider-Man verse will be connected to the MCU Marvel universe? That's what he's acting. I think so. I mean, if they're going to be yanking in, of course, the Fox universe and all this, the Spider-Verse for Sony is going to be it. But my bad. Think will be connected with Spider-Man, WandaVision, Kang the Conqueror. Yes, because if I'm not mistaken, in Doctor Strange 2, that deals with Wanda's bullshit, Spider-Man's supposed to be in it, right? So
no. Spider-Man is in or no, I'm wrong. It has not. It's only been confirmed that obviously Doctor Strange will be in Spider-Man. It's only been confirmed that Wanda will be in Doctor Strange 2 as of right now. That's
okay, so we're still correlating the idea of Spider-Man will be
Spider-Man being in Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, the
2.
multiverse of madness. Do you think it's a possibility?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Do you think that knowing that Doctor Strange plays like a huge role in the Spider-Man film, that a lot of people think that it'll be too much to have Spider-Man in Doctor Strange's film? Do you think it'll be like, well, we already did a film with these two guys together. Why do we need to bring them in this one?
Because I'm gonna tell you, I said it before, I will say it again. I am anticipating Spider-Man, but I just need this to hurry up and get the fuck out the way because Doctor Strange 2 is where it's at for me, dude.
Yeah, I'm with you on
gonna
that.
Be the one. That's gonna be the one.
I'm with you on that one.
I'm getting excited for Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm getting excited for Spider-Man, and I think it's gonna start popping off there, but it's going to be Doctor Strange 2, which is where you and I, buddy, we're gonna have to see which one of us is true in this on whether or not Wanda is going to be
a big baddie or not.
A big baddie or not. And I'm telling you, she's going to be full-blown heel, full-blown bad guy.
Damn, that's crazy, dude.
She is going to be balls to the wall, fucking shit up, fucking everybody up, trying to get her kids back, dude. I'm telling you.
That's wild, man. That's wild. I don't think she'll be the full-on baddie. I still don't. Right. I think there's someone else in the background pulling the strings, and they're just using her as the median. And then
it's the other way around. If you want to get into the speculation, I think it's the other way around. I think she's the one pulling the strings, and I think she actually may have something to do with Spider-Man 2. If we
or Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3.
Well, no, Spider-Man. Oh yeah, Spider-Man 3. Yeah. If we really want to get into it, I think she is the reason why Doctor Strange is acting so fucking weird.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think she may have something to do with that. So I don't know. I'm just speculating, but that's what I think.
Well, we know for sure we're going to get an official. That's a good question. That's a good point from John with Loki and Sylvie being in Doctor Strange 2. We know we'll eventually get all three of the sorcerers, Loki, Wanda, and Doctor Strange all together in one. Is there a possibility we may get a Brother Voodoo? I don't know. Maybe that would be pretty cool. Getting a lot of the Sorcerer Supremes together. but yeah, Doctor Strange 2 would be probably one of the most amazing films for me coming up.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm literally more hyped for. What's up, Eels? Yes, we are still live, dude. We do pretty much like a 2:30 show, man. 2 hours and 30 minutes almost. But we're actually gonna probably call this in a little bit. So we're all tired and stuff. Yeah, I think Doctor Strange 2 for me is probably the most hype movie that I'm about. Because for me, I want to see what I'm really excited for right now in the MCU is them pushing and exploring the multiverse.
Yeah.
Like that's what blew my mind about What If. That's why I was excited about that show. Of course, I had my issues with What If, and I still kind of do, but I'm really excited about waiting for you for Battlefield 2042. Man, I am digging that game. I know people shit on it, but 2042 is it's been getting a lot funner for me. But yeah, Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness is going to be where my excitement is. Spider-Man, I mean, I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it, but I just need to get it out the way. Just get out the fucking way.
I'm kind of already done with all like the advertisements and I'm already fed up, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm so fucking done with Spider-Man ads and videos and shit. The only thing that would make me uber excited right now is if we get some type of nod of Miles Morales, which I'm super excited for still.
You find a way. You find a way every week to bring up.
You know what though? Like, okay, so this is just my say, and I'm still sticking to it. If there's supposed to be some way that Peter Parker goes through the multiverse in this film, right? Because that's why he apparently wears like that Spider-Man outfit.
Yeah.
And like he lands and runs through because he's going through like different portals or something.
Okay.
Like my thing is I want him to go through that one where Morlun and Miles are battling it out and they both like see him.
Okay.
And then he kind of like just gets taken through it. Like he's just fighting through the multiverse. Like not like where he goes and he stays and he talks to him and ventures in and all this stuff. Just a little nod of the hat. That's all I need. That's all I need. If I can get that, I'll be happy.
That's it. You'll be happy.
Yeah, I'd be extremely happy, but I really doubt it. With all the cast that we're apparently getting, with the 8 fucking superheroes or 8 fucking people that are supposed to be in it, that's a lot of motherfuckers, dude.
A lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. That's like I don't even know how the fuck they're gonna fit 8 extra characters in a goddamn film that already has like Sinister Six, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, MJ, everybody talking about fucking Nate, what's Nad? Nate? What's his fucking what's the fat friend's name?
Oh, Ned. I was like, who was he talking about?
Yeah, Ned apparently posted up pictures a couple months ago where he was like in fucking what's that shit called? Like the special effects shit. And everybody was theorizing that he was gonna do the fucking Hobgoblin. And I was like,
we didn't even talk about it. We didn't even talk about the poster, the Spider-Man poster.
Oh, that's right. What was the poster you want to talk about? I didn't even know what you were talking about.
So what was it, Rob? Maybe you can help me. I think today, I think there was a UK poster that came out. Shit. Was it the UK poster that came out that looks like? I think we posted it in the chat. It looks 1,000 times better than the poster that came out the other day. Like it looks way fucking better.
Is it like a splash page with all the guys on it or what?
Yeah.
No, that looks silly as fuck. I was like, I just found like the stupidest looking one I could find. I'm sorry. I apologize. That looked like dumb. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Oops. It's like a splash page, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a big crack and stuff.
No. Hold on one second. Just put in Google new Spider-Man poster, and it'll come up.
Let me look this up. New Spider-Man.
It's actually in the
chat. That's what I was looking at.
I put it up. Yeah. But the new poster looks way better than the one that just came out last week.
It's the one that has it's the circular one. It has Electro, MJ's right solid in the middle.
Yep.
I'll post this up real quick. If you are here if you're here in the chat with us, it's right here. I have it up on our video.
Yeah. Now this poster should have been the only poster that came out.
It looks really sharp, man.
That looks
that looks good. There's the Green Goblin
in a new suit.
In his new suit.
How do
you feel
about that? That is confirmed to be William Dafoe in the new suit. I love it.
Lizard.
That's Lizard. Yep, there's Lizard.
You know
Dude,
what?
dude, I think we're only getting five villains, dude.
Okay, so my thing here, because here's the sand right here for Sandman.
Yep.
This is really bad graphics design setup.
Okay.
You have the sand, yes, but you don't have his face.
Mm-hmm.
So his head would probably be about here.
Mm-hmm.
And cinematography wise, well, not cinematography, but graphics design, like portion size. If you have Lizard here, you would have someone right here. Like it doesn't feel good by itself with nothing on this side. So right now you have one.
What if there's
two.
nobody? What if there's nobody there to put? They only have 5 villains, dude. I think they're really gonna do this. I think they're gonna do this.
Well, I mean, of course, like I said, like we don't even have a Sandman picture, which would probably be about right here. Like there would be something here and then something down here.
I just think they're just alluding to him with the sand because behind Lizard, that's all sand back there. So that is Sandman. That is Sandman behind like the Lizard. That's sand. So that's one. Sandman is one. You have the Lizard. You have Electro. You have you have Doc.
It's a good poster, man. It's a
And
good
yeah, no,
poster.
I love this poster. But
Yeah.
dude, how would you feel if we only got the Sinister 5 instead of the Sinister 6?
I mean, it's enough characters. I mean, I'm not gonna
Okay.
fucking shit on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's already a lot for this movie to do. But I'm telling you, like right now, when you look at this as a cinema, as a graphics designer,
Mm-hmm.
there's only characters on the right side of the screen. There's literally dead space here on this side. You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. So what would you have done about it? Would you have?
They're missing at least one person here. Like just one. I would just say one person.
So you think that this is like CGI'd out, or you think this is
Yes.
like?
I think they purposely have someone removed. And the reason why I'm saying that is because all of these other character pictures are done in a specific way that looks custom to the poster. Except these 3 pictures, which is, well, his is good, but this one is straight capped from the film, which is the scene where you see the lizard screaming.
Yeah.
And then this one is straight capped from when you see him floating in one part.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just cut and paste of those characters. That means those aren't the official pictures they're going to use on the poster. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because look, you see Spider-Man here, that's a whole new image. You see Doctor Strange here, whole new image. MJ, whole new image. But and this one, Jamie Foxx here on the bottom looks fucking fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, connecting to the Doctor Strange circle.
Mm-hmm.
Looks really good graphics design wise. That's really great. Yellow lightning, yellow background, perfect. But the lizard guy, no attention. The goblin, I guess he looks a little bit different, but you've seen that picture before. It wouldn't be something you would put on a poster because usually when you put a poster out like that, you don't put a reciting picture that you've already used. It would be something different, something original, something nice that correlates with it itself. So I just feel like there's something moved from here. So that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I really think that if I was the dude that plays Sandman, I'd be disappointed that I wasn't there. If I was Ned, I'd be disappointed that I wasn't there. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't put Ned, dude. Like Ned's a fucking fan favorite.
Yeah, maybe because he fucking doesn't make it out.
Maybe he fucking dies and turns into the Hobgoblin.
Maybe he doesn't make it out. Maybe that's why.
Maybe he just fucking maybe he gets shit on, man.
Do you want to touch?
Doesn't make it.
Do you want to touch the potential spoiler that Rob's talking about, or do you want to?
Rob advertisement. Peter Parker. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not really a potential spoiler. It's just like I think we kind of realize like more than likely it's going to happen. Like the idea of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire coming out in this film are a lot more in the positive than the negative. Like I feel that if they don't use them, it's going to be like a fucking shit on the entire fucking fan base that wanted to see him.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just easy for him. And then right now you have Andrew Garfield that's going around. He's still casually making films. What the fuck is Tobey Maguire doing? Like that dude's working at fucking Papa John's and shit. Like he could use the help, you know, coming out in this story.
You know
So
what's weird about the leak that he's talking about? I think it was like a dog treat or dog toy
mhm.
advertisement. It was a weird fucking advert. It wasn't for something like you would think, and that's where they found that leak, or that's where they found the little Easter egg. That's just crazy.
And it's what is it? And you
It's
can see
basic,
Peter Parker.
yeah. You're basically seeing our Tom Holland MCU version of Spider-Man, and then
And
in the
Tobey Maguire
corner,
chilling out.
and then in the corner, you do see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man suit upside down. You do see that, you know.
That is kind of weird for a dog commercial.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's
funny.
kind of like one of those things like on the toy line, you see Miles Morales and Morlan, like as the toy lines that are coming out. And you see the girl that just came out in the Venom Carnage movie as a toy line character. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Do I think that they're going to come out? Yeah, I think that there's no way they're not going to come out.
I was gonna say at this point, how do you not have them come out?
Yeah, it would be a really, it'd be a really big waste if they didn't come out.
Yeah, but they will.
Are you guys getting your tickets on Spider Monday?
I
I am
That's my
really
birthday.
gonna.
That's my birthday, so I'm gonna be.
You better get all the tickets, bro.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Yeah, you better get all the. Everybody better get you tickets. Everyone better just buy you
Yeah,
every ticket that they know of, man. They'll get you a
definitely.
whole damn theater to watch it by yourself too. Oh, well, that'll be good. Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to try to see it opening night. It's one of those things like I believe you were the one that was telling me, but I think you have the numbers of what it's projecting that the fucking sales are gonna be like.
Oh yeah, I don't have them in front of me. I should have had them pulled up, but
But
I mean,
we're
I'm
looking at
just yeah. We're gonna be talking about it's first off anything post pandemic. Get it out of here. Like it's gonna crush it.
yeah, it's gonna
Then I
fucking destroy it, dude.
and then I think it may be somewhat close to, if not better than, pre-pandemic movies as well. So we'll see. If do you think that in the climate that we're in right now, do you think any movie has the potential to see a billion again anytime soon?
Spider Man,
Right?
Spider Man, heartbeat,
I think if any movie has a chance, it's gonna be
heartbeat,
this one.
heartbeat, Spider Man. It's just it's like I've said, the comic book character transcends even the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
It's not just a movie; it's a whole fucking event for people. Like Spider Man, people cried as if someone died when he
I
was
did.
in fucking Infinity War and he got
I
snapped
did.
away.
I
Like that
did.
was like the needle in the fucking coffin for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And Marvel knew it. They made him the last fucking person that goes away in the snap. They even needed an explanation on why it hurt him.
I didn't even see it coming. That's where I was. I feel like I have to explain myself as why I was crying like a bitch in the fucking movie
It's
theater.
very it's weird. It's weird that we're so connected to this character.
Yeah.
And then to know like the video that I sent you where Marvel is suing Stanley's family and all this other
Yeah.
stuff to get the rights to these characters so they can have full creative control over these characters without the necessity of breaking
Paying.
contract against them.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And we've talked about this before because of the fact that the reason why Sony is holding on to it and they don't want to sell the rights back is because they know the value of Spider-Man. They
Mhm.
know that he is the heart and soul of the Marvel universe. Where Robert Downey Jr. started, Tom Holland will carry on that legacy as
Mhm.
the new person that is running the MCU. Like he's gonna be the dude.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's the dude. Like that's the easiest way to put it. And yeah, he's important. And I think easily he'll break the $1 billion. He'll break the easiest. Like it's gonna be the craziest fucking
The
numbers.
easiest $1 billion ever made.
Yeah, that's it. This is it. Like we're about to see history where the world comes back 100% theater wise.
Mm.
Because after Spider-Man, movies are open season, bro. People will start going like nobody's business. The movies will start up being the movies will start being normal again. Right now, it's still a little bit of that whole like, well, I don't know, masks, coronavirus. fucking Spider-Man comes in, you see the lines for the first time of people waiting in fucking line to see movies. Like, this is it. Like, we're about to see fucking history in the making, and Spider-Man's about to break that shit. So fucking shout out to Marvel for doing it all over again. Yeah. Well, guys, what did you think? What did you think about the show today? What did you guys think? Did you guys like Hawkeye? What do you guys think about the Ahsoka Tano Star Wars news? What do you guys feel about the return of the Snyder Cut? And do you think right now the Snyder Cut would be just as effective if it was here? What do you feel about? Are you going to go out and check Resident Evil out in theaters? Guys, leave us comments. Tell us what you guys think. Give us your ratings on the films and the episodes of Hawkeye. Do you think in the next 2 episodes it's gonna fucking blow all the other Disney shows out of the water? What are you excited for coming up? Are you excited for Yelena Belovovich or whatever her name is? Are you fucking excited like we are? I can't even remember her fucking name. But I'm just excited.
The fact that you had to say her name to get that in there is funny as shit.
You know what I'm excited for is to see her do the superhero pose. That's all I'm excited for, is to see her do a superhero pose after she talks shit about it. Greatest part of Black Widow. Yeah, guys, tell us what you think. Leave us in the comments, guys. If you have anything you want us to check out, if you have any other stories, comics, movies, video games, anything you want us to see, hit us up in our section of comments, fucking DMs, message us. Guys, don't forget to check us out on Spotify, YouTube, fucking Apple Podcasts, fucking Google Podcasts. Guys, don't forget to check out Gym Class Majors, my boy Brian D and D Vargas hitting it up. Yeah, don't forget to check them out. It's gonna be it's always an amazing show. The guys do so well. Yeah, guys, we want to say we appreciate you. Thank you to all of our extraordinary listeners. Thank you again for joining us again on a Friday night, getting all fucking lonesome and crazy with us all the way almost close to midnight. We appreciate every one of you. Also, don't forget, shout out to our sponsor, www.eatmetexas.com. Again, guys, if you're looking for CBDs or anything like that, go check them out. They're a fucking awesome sponsor. Super nice guys. I already told Brian I'm going to be getting some new stuff, and I'm going to be sending him a care package with a bunch of other Mexican stuff, with a bunch of Mexican candies from South Texas. So if anybody has any ideas that I could send him in the chat for a little gift care basket, let me know. Let me know what I need to send him. Brian, thank you so much for being on the show with me. I appreciate you so much. Guys in the comments, ladies in the comments, from Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, we appreciate you. We'll see you guys again next Friday here on the Average Boys Podcast, 9 p.m. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys again next week here Friday night. Laters.
Peace.